testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. All right, everyone, we are live, and welcome back to another Friday night live stream here at Christ-Centered Ironworks. We've been checking out the chat. Looks like there's a ton of new faces in the house this evening. So first off, welcome to everyone who's a newcomer. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell and set it for all notifications if you want to be up to date whenever we post videos on YouTube and we do these live streams. So this is a very special live stream today. Not only will we be continuing work on our sled project that we started in 2 weeks ago live stream. Not only are we going to work on that, but we will also be giving away is it a 50-pound, Jess? I believe, 50. If I said it right, 50-pound Holland Swage block. This Swage block will be provided to us by Holland Anvil. He's helped us out to be able to bring the Year of the Swage to you all this year, and this will be number one, Swage block number one of 12 that we'll be giving away this year. So we'll be giving away one a month, and I'm super excited about that. And so you definitely don't want to take and miss out. And yeah, hopefully that I stated that out really good. If you don't win the Swage block, don't worry. There's plenty of great door prizes that we'll be giving away as well. We got some great punch and chisel sets from Bar Run Forge. I'm sure he's in here. Troy and Eli of Bar Run Forge. You'll see their name pop up in the chat, I'm sure, at some point this evening. And, you know, shout out to them. Thank you for sending those over, and we'll be giving those away. They were actually meant for our Great Blacksmith Christmas giveaway live stream, but
Post office held on to them.
The U.S. Postal System did not get them here quick enough. So we will be giving them away in this stream. And so again, thank you, Troy at Bar Run Forge, for that great donation to the channel to be able to give away and help out some other fellow smiths. One of the other things that we'll be giving away is we'll be giving away some blacksmithing blanks that we sell over at our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. And we'll have a little advert. Well, I'll talk all about it in a little while. But
it almost sounded like Mickey Mouse right there.
Almost, huh? So, yeah. But yeah, anyway, so we'll get into that in a little bit, but we'll have some blanks and some fun forging items that you guys can forge on at your home forges just in time, nick of time for Valentine's Day. So that's awesome. We got some new stuff up on our website live for that. So we'll go into that after a little bit here. But again, thank you everyone for joining us. And also, another real quick update before we get started here. We have gotten some new streaming equipment into the shop to hopefully make these productions just that much better. I don't like to toot my own horn very much, but we work very hard at being the best live stream we can be here on YouTube. So I think this will definitely help out. And what do you think about it, Jess?
Yeah, the test went well. Yesterday we had just a quick test, quick quotation marks, where our channel members, you know, they kind of got to see what was going on just in case we had any flub ups, you know, that way we were good and prepared for today.
Yep. And if you notice, we can talk almost in unison and even talk over each other at some point. And it not have a bunch of weird feedbacking noise. At least we hope it doesn't. In our tests, it hasn't. So we've got some new mics. And Jessica has a great new switcher, live stream switcher, to be able to go between camera angles. So that's going to work out really well. And hopefully by the end of this year, we will have up to four new camera angles in the shop. So we'll have this camera. We'll have camera number 2. Jessica, go to camera number 2.
All right.
We'll have not only that camera angle, but we will have, come back to camera number 1. Not only that, but we will have a 3rd and 4th camera. Hopefully one to be able to get set up by the vise, and possibly a 4th one to be at the layout table. So this way, instead of having things stood up right like this, which is really hard to lay out things to in a vertical orientation, I will be able to have a top-down bird's eye view of a layout table, and we can undertake different, larger, more fancy projects on Friday nights. So really looking forward to the things that come here in 2021. So who all do we have in the house this evening, Jess?
We have lots of people.
Lots of people.
Let's see. Jake Smith says first time tuning in. Aaron Hamlos says, ooh, fancy. Red Beers Forge. Wiley Rook Blade Works.
Hello,
Daniel Kagerai says nice. Leroy Pryor. Just a few. And let's see, just a couple of questions I've seen repeated a few times.
Okay.
Yes, that is snow in the background. Right now we don't have a ton of snow, maybe 2 inches or so on the ground, kind of patchy right now. But it was snowing last night and it's been slightly snowing throughout the day. So yes, you'll see a little snow here and there. The temperature is right around, well, they say it feels like 8 degrees. So I think it's actually right around 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's cold.
It is cold, yeah.
It's cold and it's going to drop throughout the evening. So it's going to be down in the teens, according to my weather app. It says it's going to be down in the teens this evening with the sharp fall off beginning right at the beginning of this live stream. So ain't that great?
Yep.
Hence the big fluffy coat. So I did debate. I was 50-50 on putting on the fire chaps of whether I even needed them because I have this nice big long coat that kind of protects a lot of stuff, bounce things off of. I'm like, nah, it's tradition. We got to put on the fire chaps. So on the fire chaps go. Well, welcome. Glad to have everybody here this evening. It's super awesome to have you here. So without further ado, how about we get into the project a little bit so I can get a piece of metal heated up. Let's go to camera number 2, Jess. Okay. So tonight we're going to actually work on forging our brackets for our sled here. This is 1/4x1 flat stock, and what we're going to be making is a split scroll. If you can see there, hopefully they can see that on your monitor. I can't tell, it's a 3-inch screen. So
yeah, we can see it.
If you can see the line there, I have went ahead and marked, center line marked, where I'm going to be hot splitting this piece apart. Why hot splitting, you may ask? Well, it's because I don't have a bandsaw that has enough pass through that I can run this whole piece all the way up to my mark up here at the top. It hits about halfway up, so I'm going to hot split them instead. Preferably, it's a lot quicker just to bandsaw these. If you could do that, if you have a bandsaw that can do that. I do not have a big vertical bandsaw that can, so there we go. We're going to hot split them. This in total length, I haven't come up with the actual length on this. I should probably have measured it long before the stream and wrote down the measurements. Let me grab my ruler if I can. Give me 1 second. Whoop. Again, these measurements are purely arbitrary. You make a larger sled, you make a larger sled. So that was to 12 inches. So the split is 12 inches long, and the entirety of the piece is, see here, 33 inches. So it's going to be 12-inch long split with 33 inches in total to take and make up the brackets for our sled. So we start like this. You lay out your marks, set that down. Then you hot cut it. We're going to start splitting it with a slitting chisel. I like to use a broad slitting chisel to cut this all the way back to that mark. Use a really nice broad slitting chisel. Then we go from that and we bend out our legs like so. So this way we can take care of any sort of chamfer. There's bound to be a chamfer and a rag to this piece, and we need to square that off by forging that back down and in. Consequently, or you could also, not consequently, the other way you could do it is you could grind off that rag as well. It does take a little extra time to do that. I just like forging it back in. It doesn't really take that much extra time to do that. So that's where we'll end up at some point. So to save us some time, I've already got these pieces prepped in those stages. So I will start with finish hot splitting so you can see this part of it, this piece here, and then I will switch off and I will continue to forge this piece here into the actual scroll bracket that we're going to use. So now I'll show you what that bracket's going to look like when we're done. So here's what the bracket's going to look like once we're done. So there is a penny scroll up top that's going to attach to the sled body itself. There is a leaf scroll on this end here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a bit of a water leaf scroll. Can they see that okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's going to be a water leaf scroll right here on this end. And then again, another penny scroll here for the sled runner. If we want to go back up to camera number 1, Jess, I'll show where that goes. Mm-hmm. So can they see this back here fine?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be installing it just like so. So that's where this piece is going to go. So it's actually this piece that we're working on now. And there's going to be a total of 4 of those pieces that we actually put together, to actually make the, to attach the whole sled together. So pretty fancy a little bit once you see it all put together. I mocked it up earlier. It really does look pretty sick. It is one of the fanciest sleds for a kid, I think, out there. But hey, what are good dads for, right? All right, I'll get this good and hot. And we'll take questions, comments, complaints, concerns.
John Robinson, is that a Pettinghaus anvil?
Yes. This is a Pettinghaus anvil. It's, from what I understand, a North German anvil. And at 465 pounds. So, I like big anvils, and I cannot lie. They are the great.
According to according to Wayne Heinz and Bar Run Forage, you're supposed to start off dancing in a kilt or something like that. Did you make promises?
Yeah. No, I didn't make any promises. One of them weirdos made some comments in their stream. I didn't agree to nothing. I plead the 5th.
Philip Cornet asked, will it work hooked up to a large dog? The sled.
Yeah, you could. Like a big old Siberian Husky or a Malamute, something like that. That'd work out great.
Mm-hmm. Also, there's a few super chats. Let me go over and pull those up.
Yeah,
Gordon
set them up.
Farmer, thank you for starting off the stream 30 minutes early with a smiley poop emoji and a pear with a cup of coffee.
Thank you, Gordon. Greatly appreciate that.
Just Gonna Get Better sent us a $2 super chat saying, let's get this party started.
Awesome. Thank you, Just Gonna Get Better. Yeah, if you like what we do, is that all?
2 more.
Okay, 2 more. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cheryl Soprano Lannis, thank you for the $5 super chat. And also Robert Lannis with the Treadle Shed Ironworks.
Hey, thank you all very much. Thank you, the Lannises. Greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So yeah, there's this, if you like what we do and you want to get your questions answered guaranteed, go ahead and hit that super chat button. It goes into all the shipping and stuff that we do to be able to ship out these items, and it goes towards the purchase price to be able to purchase things like the Swage block that you see in the background. Hopefully they can see. Mm-hmm. It's so gorgeous. It's so pretty. Oh, now that anvil, that Swage block I actually purchased at full price for myself. So this way I could do a nice review on it and show you guys in the next upcoming videos how to clean them up really nice, to be able to do professional work out of them. And so yeah, really, really great Swage block. Happy to get that into the shop. It's going to be a lot of fun to use that in the next few videos I'll be doing. So that'll be good. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you, Yamez, for the mustache sticker. Stephen Watkins, thank you for the $5 super chat. It says, Minion Smithy has arrived. Better late than never.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for the super chats. So yeah, I lost my track of mind there. What I was going to say is, yes, This Swage block here, that one's mine, but we will be buying one from Holland Anvil and having it shipped directly to you. So I should clarify that. That way people don't think that they're going to get this thing. Holland Anvil can ship them way better than I. They've got it down pat. They package it really well, and they've been shipping those things all over the country. So really happy to have partnered up with Holland Anvil this year with those.
Jeffrey Walker sent a $10 super chat and said, broke the top of my homemade big anvil making Damascus, so I get to give my undivided attention to you two today. Oh no.
Okay, well, I'm glad you get to give us your undivided attention. I'm sorry that you broke the top of your anvil. Ooh, ouchie, ouchie. That's never any good.
Great Wolf Tactical, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says that RGB sign in the background is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Thank you very much. We actually went out and bought more lights for that system, so this way it'll actually change.
To match the super chat.
To match the super chat colors. We did have that system originally hooked up, but our light went out. The power connector jacked up on it, fried or whatever, so we ended up buying another one. I just haven't gotten around to installing it yet. So
yep. We'll try to have that by next stream.
Yeah, we'll try to have that up and going by the next stream for sure.
Stephen Watkins, thank you for the pair super sticker saying keep it up.
Woohoo! Thank you, Stephen Watkins. Greatly appreciate it.
Page 76 Metalcraft, thank you for the $20 super chat. Says I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate that. And that's page 46?
Page 76. Metal.
Page 76 Metalcraft. We greatly appreciate you. So I think this is hot enough for me to probably start a run on.
Okay.
For right now. We ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to camera number 2. That locked in there. Now there's bound to be some people kind of freak out a little bit. Oh, didn't have my screw all the way set down. There we go. I am not cutting all the way through to the anvil surface. I'm going to take this over to the vise and I'm going to shear it off the rest of the way. I'm just establishing the cut as I'm going down through here, but not chopping all the way through. Hopefully that makes sense. You do not want to chop a hot cut chisel into the surface of your anvil. So, there we go. Starting to split. It's starting to break apart already, which is great. So now I just need to work this split up a little bit higher, up the piece, and then I can go over to the vise and just shear it off. And it'll work out great. It's gone.
So many people today. I have to scroll back up to take up where I left off. Zoid Hammer Wargaming, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Hey, thank you.
What kind of steel are you using for this? And is the current temperature affecting your processes at all currently?
So, great question. So, to answer the first question, really easy. I'm just using mild steel. It's 1/4x1 flat bar stock, A36 or 1018. I don't know. It's just mild steel. I believe it's 1018 from what I got on the other bit. So, yeah, just basic mild steel. To answer the other question, is the current temperature really affecting the the metal that I'm working on right now or the project? Is it affecting it any? That's a very valid question. A lot of people think that the cold that you're in right now will have a really high degree of an effect on the actual steel. But the real truth of the matter is that the delta T is so far off the opposite ends of the spectrum, it doesn't even matter. That's why when you quench steel in water, it doesn't just like and it's cold, ice cold, and it's the temperature of the water, right? You can't just take a red hot blank of steel, set it on an ice cube, and the ice cube just disintegrate completely. No, it takes a while for it to boil off, right? And things like that. The temperatures are just so far apart from one another that it really does not have that big of an effect. Some people claim it does. I don't believe it so. I have never really seen that much of a difference. Now, the only time that I do see a difference is when the mass of the heated object, like the material, is not thick enough to maintain its own heat. And I've seen stuff like 1/4-inch rod cool down super quick in 80-degree temperatures, because anything below the 1800 to 2000 degrees you're forging the steel at is colder, right? It's going to chill it at some point. So whether it's 80 degrees or it's negative 80 degrees, it really doesn't have an effect on the steel. It does, but it's negligible, completely completely unmeasurable of the type of effect that you're going to see. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, it's a cold day, so, oh man, that metal's really resisting me. You get it up to 1800, 2000 degrees, it's going to move just like it would on a 90-degree day or a 180-degree day, because it don't know any better. Kind of the same thing if you were to pee into the sun. You think the sun's going to care? Nope, not at all. It won't even have a black spot on it. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the handful, Jess.
All right.
Great question.
Zerka Outdoors, thank you for the $2 super chat. They say, keep up the great work.
Awesome. Plan on it. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Valerad said, backdrops making me miss my old pole barn. Tiny housing development garages are just not nearly as Smith friendly.
Yeah, I love this big barn.
Renee says, I haven't worked with 1095 steel yet. I've been hearing people have trouble with the quench. Why is there a problem quenching it?
Well, it could be a lot of issues of why people are having trouble quenching it. I would say that 99% of people's problems with quenching steel actually comes down to the forging of said steel and has nothing to do with the quench whatsoever. As you work material like steel, you get grain growth. It's going to happen. The larger the grain, the more prone it is to snapping on you, especially developing stress risers and things of that nature where it's going to crack and then snap on you. So it's really about using the steel for what it was meant for. Again, you can say 1095, it's a simple carbon steel. It can be hardened in water. Some people will harden it in oil to a degree. It's a high carbon content steel, and you're going to lose some of that as it goes if you're taking 50 heats to get the thing done that you need to get done. But the majority of where I think a lot of the problems come from, and again, I'm not a metallurgist here, so there's people who really dig into the books on all this stuff and get scientific papers out and strewn about across the floor. I don't care about any of that nonsense. I am a blacksmith. I make my own tools for my own purpose and tooling and for other smiths, and I make artwork. So that's my thing. So I do have a knowledge of heat treatment, but I am not some guru here or some wizard that went to college to study steels and their alloys and all that stuff. I'm not wearing a lab coat. But as I have seen time and time again, as people heat up their steel, they work it till it's too cold, then they heat it way back up, and then they work it till it's too cold, and they heat it way back up, and they work it till it's too cold, and they heat it way back up, and they keep thermocycling it like that in a bad way, not a good way, and they overwork the material, and that's where it ends up failing on them in the long run. That's my opinion of 1095. I've worked with 1095 on a lot of different tools, and I've never had a problem with it just directly cracking or having those type issues. One of the other things that a lot of people don't think about, we can go to camera number 2, Jess.
All right.
One of the other things that a lot of people don't think about, they'll get all these other things right, like, oh, they'll heat up the quenchant material, and they'll do all this, they'll do all this good stuff to make their pretty design, and they'll put it in a heat treat oven and bring it up to the exact temperature it needs to be and whatever it's spec'd for and all this stuff, and then they will dunk, say, a hammer that is they will dunk a hammer head that has super sharp edges on it. So we can go to the main cam. So anywhere there's a super sharp edge on the item that you're dunking into water, brine, oil, that's a stress riser. It's a stress point. So having super sharp edges around the eyes of hammers, that's 9 times out of 10, that's why they crack right through the eye when you crack them. Or on the face of a hammer, you don't have the edges alleviated enough that it's not so fierce of a quench right on those edges. They concentrate the contraction of that steel right on those edges, and then it cracks on you. How do I know this? Because I have broken a lot of steel. I have quenched and failed multiple times on things, and I have slowly worked out bugs in my process, and that's one of those bugs in my processes that I have worked out, is that you don't want to quench sharp things. Not really. That's why knife work is really prone to snapping in quenching and things like that after all your hard work. You get a little big grain growth in the tip, and then you go to quench that thing, and it's basically the whole thing is a stress riser. The whole blade is a stress riser in effect, and you'll get problems that way. So that was a long-winded rant, wasn't it?
That took like a heat plus a bit.
Well, hopefully I answered it in detail.
You did.
For folks. What do they say? Were they getting anything, or they're like, you're dead wrong, Roy? Wikipedia says.
I don't know. I didn't actually see. There's been a lot of comments since then. So.
Oh, there's been a lot of comments since then? Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We get a little long-winded here.
Yeah, that's all right. The Roy rants. Jim Berkeley, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, who made your apron? That was made over at Brown Cow Art.
Yep.
Yep, custom made. He's based out of Ohio. Lance Cuddell, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Thank you.
Chat. Just joined in. What are you making today?
We are working on the brackets for the runners on a sled. Oh, a really fancy sled that we're forging.
Forge Lefin, thank you for joining as a member, the Bellow Boys tier.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for becoming a channel member. That's awesome. Oh. Yeah, I'll actually get into that a little bit too as well. So we've got a memberships wall. It's up behind Jessica there. We did a stream where we invited anybody out who wanted to be part of the stream to, see the names get written into the membership wall. But we actually wood burned 50 names originally, mm-hmm. And we just had some other new members this past couple weeks join. So that's awesome. Thank you guys for that. And then just like the one member that just joined, you'll get your name into the wall, sir. And so thank you for doing that. But one of the other benefits of being a member, all the content here on YouTube is completely free. That's what I do. It's open to everyone. And one of the benefits that I come up with for being a member is we offer big discounts over at our website, blacksmithpds.com, where we sell blacksmith blanks, tooling, power hammer, plans, tooling plans of all types, digital downloads, I guess I should just call it, ebooks. You get big discounts for being a member. So at every different tier, there's a higher and higher discount that you can take advantage of if that's something you're into. But nonetheless, we just enjoy having the channel members. Just because you're awesome. You're showing your support, and it allows us to, give away things like what we do, and it helps support these streams so much. So with the super chats and all the generosity. So thank you all so much. Thank you for that.
Craig Wilsey says, how wide are the actual sled runners?
The sled runners are, the width of the stock, as I said at the beginning, is 1/4x1 flat stock. I'm doing it at 1/4x1. I would have liked it to have been a lot thinner material, like 3/4 or even 1/2 inch wide stock, but I just didn't have that thin a material on hand. So I figured I'd give it a go at 1/4x1. It might need a Yeti to pull it, but we'll see.
Stephen Thompson, our website's name is blacksmithpdfs.com, and you'll find the link down in the description as well.
Yeah.
Still heating up?
Yep, we can go to the anvil.
Okay. D. McKenzie asked if your Hardy hole clamp is homemade.
Yep, I've actually got plans for this clamp over at my website. I'm really close to the anvil now, so now it's time to shear it. So I'll take it over to the vise in the next heat, and I will actually shear this piece off. I will clamp the lower section into the vise and leave the upper section free while I go right along this, and that'll help shear that leg, that piece right off on a long split like this. We'll get the end hot first, and we will work it right on through.
Toby Joe 57, thank you for the super chat. He says, I love that Swage block, but it's impossible to buy one here in the UK, so I'm working on having my own cast in iron from a timber one I already made as a pattern.
Very cool. And that's Tobio?
Toby Joe.
Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Did you super chat? Is that what it was?
Yep.
Thank you very much for the super chat. And yeah, depending on where you're at in the world, that really does suck. Depending on where you're at, whether you get the availabilities of tools. I know here in the U.S., man, we drool over some of the stuff that you UK smiths really have advantages that we don't, of tools like power hammers and fly presses, and like it's cheap over there, but by the time you import it here, you were just as good off, you're just well off buying something here, so yeah, stuff can get quite expensive here in the U.S. as well, depending on what it is. So, and I imagine that's even worse off in just different countries around the world. The more isolated your country is to trade, or doesn't have the right trade deals, well, it's even harder and harder to get the stuff you need. So, all right, put this thing away.
Tree Ironworks, thank you for the super chat.
Hey,
Says,
hey.
I admire y'all's work. Love to interview you two.
Hey, I'd like to be interviewed. Yeah, if anybody's interested, Tree Ironworks, they have a YouTube channel. They also have an Instagram you can go check out. They've been interviewing various blacksmiths from around the internet, and yeah, ought to go give them a little check out there. Thank you, Tree Ironworks, for being here.
Black Collar Ironworks sent a $20 super chat and says, Leroy Adams. And Jess, smiley face. How goes forging your new boat, Roy? Smiley face.
How goes forging my new what?
Boat.
My new boat? Not happening yet. Not happening yet. Might forge on a iceberg someday. That might happen sooner than forging my new boat. All right, set my scroll jig down here. We are set up already. So I'm going to go over here to the vise. You guys aren't going to be able to see a whole lot because it's just not going to move the camera. See? That's why we need Vice Cam, right?
We do.
That's why we need that one. But yeah, I'm just going to go over here, and like I said, I'm going to clamp it up in the vise, the bottom half, and then I'm going to shear off the top half by cutting in the same groove on the line with the chisel. And that'll pop that right apart.
Well, that worked nicely.
What's that?
That worked nicely.
Yep. What, you didn't believe me?
No, I believed you. It looked very satisfying the way it just popped apart.
Is it very satisfying?
It was.
Jessica says, that's oddly satisfying. I may give that a try later. A little bit more. It helps if you do this with a little bit of heat in the stock. If it gets cold, it won't bend that leg out of the way. Let's go to camera number 2.
Okay.
Can they see that okay? Huh?
Yeah.
All right. So if you can see there, that's what we're doing. We're just following along this line and peeling off this side. If it cools down too much, this stiffens up and it doesn't want to peel. So you kind of have to heat, you got to get this nice and hot in order for you to shear that through using the vise.
Benjamin Molnar sent a $5 super chat and said, what's your favorite steel to use for decorative pieces?
Favorite steel for decorative pieces? As soft as I can get it, wrought iron. That's my favorite. Yeah, as soft a material as I can get it. The reason why is I like to be very expressive with my ironwork and get it to do a lot. I like really changing the dimension and the form. And plus I love forge welding. Wrought iron lends itself very well to both those previous statements. So I really love wrought iron. Some people, they hate it. Some people think it's a booger to forge. And it can be. If you get some really low grade wrought means to work. Right? So you do need to work the piece and get it in good shape. But once it is, I mean, you can forge a mighty big piece of wrought iron by yourself and get a lot of work done drawing out a large chunk that you would never be able to do on mild steel. Mild steel would take you forever. Say if you had a 2-inch chunk of mild and a 2-inch chunk, like a 2x2x4 and a 2x2x4 chunk of mild and one of wrought iron, you'd be able to forge the wrought iron out about 3 times as quick as what you could do that regular chunk of steel.
Heath French asked if I'm a smith, and if so, what my favorite thing to make is. I've done a tiny bit of forging, and I do some jewelry that I forge, more or less, I guess it's just texturing, but I enjoy doing that. And probably my favorite would be I made some copper handles for a cutting board. That was fun, and then I enameled them last February.
Last February.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What else?
Yes, let me continue down the super chat list. Chaos Lemon, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Thank you.
Just as an add to the HT/quench/temper process, John at BBF recommended a sweet app, but let's see, put out by Heat Treaters Association. It's good and free info.
Yep. Yep, that's great. Yeah, John at Black Bear Forge. Yep. Put out good information. Heat Treaters Guide. Yeah, you can find a lot of heat treating guides, different things. You know, you have to remember that a lot of stuff, you know, we like to pretend like it's all exact sciences. It's not. It's a lot of experimentation. It's almost an exact science, but there's always revisions that come out. There's always like, oh, we found something new that this material can do if you do this to it. And so, you know, just keeping in check with some of that stuff from time to time is good. Because I know there are some conflicts in some heat treating books that I got that were produced in 1930. And again, they had a certain type of technology to where they could look at things. We have more advanced technology now to where we can see even better what the steel is doing. And so there were certain assumptions made back then that are not true today. So again, it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. with technology and with alloys, the different alloying agents that manufacturers are putting in steel. That all matters when you're talking about heat treatment. So generally, you can get by with a basic heat treater's book. And at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself what you're trying to be. Are you trying to be a metallurgist, or are you trying to be a blacksmith? If you're trying to be a metallurgist, then be a metallurgist. You're going to be in a clean environment. You're going to be eliminating variables and all these things. In a blacksmith shop, I just know it's high carbon and it's over in my high carbon steel bucket, and I may know the name and nomenclature on it and the way I've heat treated it in the past. That's it. If something happens to it, something goes wrong, then I dig deeper into figuring out what am I doing wrong here. But yeah, basically it on that. Did we get through all the super chatters there, babe?
No, I shall continue.
Okay, let's get them finished up there.
Forge LaFemme, thank you for the $10 super chat, which also joined as the member today.
Awesome, thank you.
I've been a fan for a while. I'm normally a bladesmith, and you've piqued my interest in doing more blacksmithing. Thanks for all you do and continuing to inspire. From Rachel Oliver.
Come to the dark side, my young one. I love it.
Robert Shell, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, speaking of hammers, do you prefer to heat treat just the faces or the whole thing?
Depends on the steel. Depends on the steel. May give a longer-winded answer to that after a bit, but we'll heat this up. Basically, it depends on the steel. Certain steels lend themselves really nicely to heat treating just the faces. Other steels, not so much. You're just going to be better off through hardening the whole piece. It just really depends on what you're doing. Like 1045, for example, 1045 lends itself really nicely to hardening the whole piece throughout. 1095, however, since it's got a lot higher carbon content in it, it is a lot nicer just to heat treat the faces and leave the body because of how hard it is and not risk quenching, like before mentioned, and snapping something right at the eye of the hammer and ruining all your work. Also, customer preference. If a customer comes to you and they want a fully heat treated whatever, and they know what they're asking for, it's another smith, then you do what type of heat treat they would like on their hammer. Other things that I've done, like wrought iron hammers, you can't heat treat the center. So you just dunk the whole thing, the hammer faces become hard and the center stays soft. Yeah.
Dalton Brandon, thank you for your $5 super chat. Says, hope to win that Swage block or punches or chisels. What is the best steel for axe drifts?
What is the best what?
The best steel for axe drifts.
Tough steel. There's not really a best steel. It's just you need something tough. I would say when you're getting started out, mild steel. That's your best steel for axe drifts to start with. That way you're not ruining, super expensive stuff. If you're going to be working under presses and things like that, you're going to be pressing material for drifts, H13 or S7. If you have the abilities to heat treat them or buy them from somebody or have them heat treated properly, those make really great steels. They resist high temperatures and high pressure for for punching operations and things like that under a press. So I'd recommend that. Other than that, 1045 is a great beater steel. That's a great tough. It's just tough. It's not really hard. But it's a good tough steel.
McClinton Tube, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Hey, thank you.
Also, Black Collar Ironworks on a super chat and this message. Hee hee hee. So Roy, how did you modify your wood burner to fit a Sharpie in it? Laughy face.
What?
Your wood burner for doing the wall.
Oh.
He said, did you do it with a Sharpie?
Yeah. Well,
it
what
did
you
take it
do
3
is you
hours.
unscrew the tip and then you drill it out to the correct size of the Sharpie marker, and then you get some hot glue and you just shove that sucker in there real good and wait till it cools down. And that's how you do it.
So it's done.
And it's dry erase, by the way. I want to make sure I can erase people, you know. No, those names are in there permanently.
Charlie Avery asked if you ever use your power hammer.
Yep. Not as much as I'd like. The work that I do oftentimes does not require a power hammer. So I am not a guy that needs a power hammer all the time. There we go. I'm gonna brush that off. So now that's been split and put back together for us to bin stuff out of the way and do the next step. But I'm gonna go ahead and heat up the other piece and go on to that. So hopefully I can see that all right. Are we at camera number 2?
Yes.
You already there? Okay, good. So there we are. But before we go do all that, I'm gonna set this one out of the way. Now that that one's ready to go on to the next stage, I'll set that out of the way. Now we can go to the one that we've already got some of the work done on.
We like to give away a few items before
Yes.
we do that, as it is approaching 5:50 p.m.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we? I was
Yeah.
going to get to ask you that here in a second.
Okay.
So did you finish up all the super chats?
3 more. So yeah,
Huh?
I can go 3
All right,
more.
let's roll through them quickly. That's why I
Okay.
asked you before, okay?
All right. Tom Carlson sent two super chats, $5 each, and the second one said, "I couldn't change the amount on the other one. This works." So I sent 2.
Thank you, Tom Carlson. Greatly appreciated. And what else?
The other one is from Charming Hollow Forge, a $10 super chat. Says, "Can't give much. Apparently a vehicle has been taking pictures of my vehicle going fast in a construction zone. So 2 tickets showed up so far from late December to do the drive 5 days a week."
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
Well, keep the speed in the forge. Keep the speed in the forge. And off the streets, Hans. Thank you, Hans, for that super chat. Greatly appreciated.
Okay, now we're caught up.
All right, we're all caught up now.
Yes.
Okay, good. How about regular comments?
Yeah, there's lots of questions.
Lots of questions?
Fearless
Okay.
Ferris Fire, we're making the sleds for our kids. Yep.
Yep.
Also, what kind of fuel are you using? That one's asked a couple of times.
What type of what?
Fuel.
What type of fuel? I'm using forging coke. So, yep. All right. Want to give some stuff away?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I think, just so I don't forget about it, and it's in my mind's eye, we're going to start with the punches and chisel sets from Bar Run Forge. We're going to start there first and foremost. We're going to give some of those away. And that way I can set them back on the table. That way they're not, you know, out of sight, out of mind, that whole sort of deal. Woo! All right. Are we at camera number 2?
We are now.
All right, let's go to camera number 2. All right, so these were made by Bar Run Forge. Of course, you can go check him out here on YouTube and also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all that jazz. Hold that up there. So not only will you be getting a sticker from him, but the first one that we're going to be giving away is a slitting chisel and a square punch. So it's a square punch, like a 1/4-inch square punch, and a slitting chisel. I do believe these are made out of coil spring, so they should hold up to the abuse that you will throw at them, hopefully. So here we go. We're going to give this away.
Yes.
Sound good? Everybody excited about that?
They are.
Okay.
They've been waiting.
So let's go back to camera number 1.
Okay.
All right. So the way this works for everybody who's new here, there's nothing you have to do. There wasn't anything you didn't have to give us your mother's maiden name and, you know, go pee in a cup or send Dookie in the mail or nothing like that. You just simply have to be here and actively chatting in the comment section here on YouTube. Just be active in the chat. And that's it. That's the only requirement. All of the door prize items, like what we're doing here, are available worldwide. We ship them anywhere in the world, so you're not excluded no matter where you're at. If If it costs us $60 to ship it to you, then it's $60 to ship it to you. It's free to you. So, and that's just the way it works. The Swage block, however, is only in the 50 United States and apparently what?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, which is just weird. But anyways, that's where the mailing boxes from the manufacturer are able to ship to, and so that's what works out best for them. So that's it on that. So hopefully everybody can understand that, and we're good to go. Okay, so start chatting. Sometimes we put in a catchphrase or something like that. Not this time. All we're going to do is I'm going to ring the anvil. When I stop, Jessica will pick one name at random from the many comments there.
Yep.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
They've been typing for the last 10 minutes, haven't they?
They have.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, and here we go. Who do we have, Jess?
We have GR Fire 2008 would love to win something.
Hey, GR Fire 2008, congratulations. You won the very first slitting chisel and square punch set from Bar Run Forge. I will set these over here. You got them written down?
Yep, I got them written down.
Good, good. Okay, let's go to camera number 2 again.
Okay.
I'll show off the other punch and chisel set
All right.
we're doing. Again, you'll get another sticker from Bar Run Forge, which is awesome. And we will get some long-handled punches and chisels this time. So we have a slitting chisel, we have a slot punch, we have a round punch, 1/4 inch round punch, and then we have a ball punch, all in this set right here. So that's going to really help kit somebody out, somebody who's new and beginning, and get them well on their way of making some decorative ironwork. So thank you, Troy, or Bar Run Forge, and Eli for making these and sending them out. That is awesome. So same thing as before. We're going to go ahead and ring the anvil, and when we stop, someone's going to get them. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Who do we have, Jess?
We have Jeff Killian with Troy's Work Punch Me.
Troy's Work Punch Me. Okay, well, you got punched. Congratulations. What was it again?
Jeff Killian.
Jeff Killian.
Killian. Yep.
Jeff Killian. Congratulations. You are the winner of that punch and chisel set. Awesome. Awesome. We'll set that off to the side. Boom.
Also, Jim Berkeley, thank you for throwing that super chat in there for $5 and says, how do I become a channel member? You do that by clicking the join button, which will be right next to the subscribe button. I think it's on any of the videos or on our channel homepage. If you do not see it, it may not be available on your device. You may have to get onto a desktop computer in which you can join from a desktop computer, and then the full functionality will be unlocked on your device.
Yeah. Yep. Follow her instructions, what she said. So
I read it on the YouTubes.
Yeah. So are you on camera number 1 or camera number 2?
Camera 1.
Okay, let's go to camera 2.
Okay.
Real quick, and then we'll give a few more things away after this heat.
Alrighty.
All right. So now I need to take that rag off, and we're going to forge that back in. And I'm doing that by actually holding this not straight up and down, but at a diagonal, because I need to compress that rag back into the piece. And then I can turn it up square as I forge and get that straightened back out. I was just turning it to the camera there so you could see what was actually going on. Get that all cleaned up. Hopefully you all can see how that looks, the difference there. So you got the rag, grab out Mr. Thing here. You can see the rag right here, that's nice sharp, hopefully. Can they see that all right, Jess?
Yep.
There's a bevel, and then it slowly transitions out, and it's flat to where we were hammering. So that's all we're doing. We're just knocking off that sharp bevel in there, because it's no bueno. We don't want it in here. We'll go ahead and heat that leg back up again. It's a lot quicker to do this, in my opinion, than grind it. To me, grinding it just takes too long. And yeah, it's just, it just takes too long and it's a big pain. You got to stop what you're doing. You got to lock it up in the vise. You got to grind it, throw sparks all over the place, dust, whatnot, put on your mask, the whole bit, right? Just to do that when you could just as easily split it, turn it on edge like I showed you. That's the secret sauce right there. Don't hammer it square. It's going to twist on you. You have to put it on a diagonal and then upset that piece back into itself and then forge it away. The other benefit is if you're not grinding, you're not removing material. You're not losing material. You're only, you're only repositioning that material. So, displacing it. You can keep talking, Jess.
All right,
Give
Brian
me some
Howman.
comments, huh?
Brian Howman sent a $2 super chat, says, love the new mic setup. We can hear Jess laugh at you. You can. And some of the past live streams, I've like bust out laughing on the, at the chat, So yeah, you guys got to hear it nice and loud now.
All right, so we got this heat going. Thank you for that super chat, Brian Howman. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. All right, so let's give away some blanks, shall we? Huh?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, we're going to give away our regular edge bowl blank and an oak leaf blank. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sound good to you? Sound good to you, my audience? Hopefully. We go to camera number 2?
Yep.
I'll showcase those off.
Okay.
There we go. If you don't win these, you can find these over our website, blacksmithpds.com, if you're interested. So here's an irregular edge-shaped bowl blank. That's a big seller. And then an oak leaf bowl blank that we're going to sell off. It doesn't have to be a bowl blank. It could be an incense holder. It could be whatever you want, really. Or it could just be purely decorative and aesthetic. Just make sure that's not burning up. So we're going to start with the oak leaf blank, Jess.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do that first and foremost. So we're going to ring the anvil. And when I come to a stop, well, there we go.
Okay.
Are they all excited?
They are.
People
They're already coming up with blink comments.
All right, let's do it. Who do we got?
Fearless Ferris Fire says blinks! 3 exclamation marks.
Congratulations, Fearless Ferris Fire.
Yep, correct.
Woo! That's a mouthful.
Say that 10 times fast.
So,
like the
congratulations.
Peter
You
Piper?
are the winner of the oak leaf blank. So congratulations. All right. Now let's go for the irregular edge bowl. Let's go to camera number 2 real quick.
Okay.
And got to keep up with me, girl.
I am. I'm keeping up
You got
with you.
plenty of time now. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. With this, the way I've done these before is basically I'll peen and I'll stretch this material out everywhere that there's a lobe. And then when you sink it, it crinkles all up and it gives it a nice cool effect. Again, you could do it however you like, but the irregularity in the edge really gives it a lot of dimension and shape and looks pretty cool for a contemporary home or a modern home. It will look really nice in. So for this, we're going to go ahead and draw for that and go back to camera number 1. Okay, so whoever wins that one, I expect to see an Instagram photo or Facebook photo or somewhere. Post it, send it to us, email it to us. I want to see what you make from it, okay? Any of our blanks, that'd be awesome. All right, we ready? Set, go. Who do we have?
I landed on Todd Good, who said, has anyone made a Facebook page for this community? Y'all are my weekly hangout and I need more of this, LOL.
Cool. Todd Good, congratulations. You won the irregular edge bowl that we sell over our website, blacksmithpds.com. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, this is hot, so I probably need to forge on it now.
All right.
Let's go to the anvil cam.
Okay.
So I'm going to get this straightened up a little bit, this thing, and I'm going to push it out of the way. Push one of these legs out of the way. That way I can get this other one straight. I went the wrong way with it. Let me go the opposite way. This is what we like to call a courtesy bend. We're just getting it out of our way. So this way we can forge the area that we need to. There we go. Nice and forged. Get this straightened up here. And we will have to heat that up again. We will bend this leg out of the way, bend this one straight forward, and go again. And those will be done to that point.
Someone asked a little earlier where exactly you would go about finding wrought iron.
Wrought iron? Mm-hmm. You just have to be lucky and know a guy. There are a couple people who remake wrought iron. They take large, like bridge type wrought iron and reforge it into new bar stock for you. More refined wrought iron online. I forget who it is that I've seen that does that. I might if I think of it, I might include it in the next stream. The name of the company that does that. Yeah, just look online for wrought iron, new wrought iron or whatever. They're not manufacturing wrought iron anymore, but they are remanufacturing. So they're taking stuff from like bridges and whatnot and reforging it into useful lengths. But of course, that comes with a high cost. So you just kind of have to get lucky and find it out there, find it in the scrap, find it in old gates or railings, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Good question.
Don Greenhall asked how durable the sled will be.
Very durable. Very durable. What else we got, Jess?
Let's see. Lissa G asked, what was the first thing you ever made?
A flattened coat hanger. That's it, a flattened coat hanger.
Mike G says, man, it's been too long. How's it going, Mike? How's that baby?
Yeah.
Probably not a baby anymore. It's a toddler.
No, it's a toddler. How's that baby? It went to college. Dang. Nothing like that. There's nothing better to make you feel old than when, little kids you saw in diapers are now teenagers going off to college. You're like, oh, wait a second. No, that's not right.
Yeah, Mike G, this is a busier chat. There's 252 people right now.
What's that?
252 people currently. It had been real close to 300 a little bit ago.
They got tired of all they got tired of all my talking, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah. They got upset they didn't win anything. They're like, oh man, shucks.
Well, if they did that, they're going to miss out on having a chance to win the Swage block.
Yeah. So where are we at on time, Jessica?
We are at 6:04.
Okay, 6:04. Mm-hmm. All right. Get this good
Evening,
and hot.
Mr. Coffee.
Hello, Mr. Coffee, sir. Good to have you in the house. We'll go back to the anvil.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I will bend this one out of the way, and I'll straighten this leg out. Preferably without getting it all crooked and whatnot.
Yeah, Mike G said she's 2.5 now and talking like crazy. Man, it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Time flies when you're having fun. All right, that courtesy bend's done. You guys can see that still has the bevel on it. Now we heat that up and get that cleaned up right. We're actually going along pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good pace, so I'm happy about that.
Toby Joe, thank you for the super chat. Says, Roy, I have a large collection of antique hardy tools. Would you sacrifice them to practice forging wrought iron or preserve the tools?
Preserve them. Unless they're just so bashed to heck and back that they ain't no good. then repurposing them for something else is par for the course. You know, they did it all the time back in the old days. You know, wrought iron was, you know, a precious commodity back then too. Steel, just like steel. You know, it was a pretty expensive deal to take and have iron and steel. So once a tool wore out to no use and they couldn't reforge it enough anymore, they would add more material to it, or they'd, you know, billet it up in something else that they needed and reforge a different piece or a bar out of it. So it's not uncommon. Like I said, it'd be par for the course. If they're really good looking antique tools, I'd keep them, preserve them. They're a part of history. So, you know, I like old tools. Too many of them, unfortunately, too many good blacksmith tools have went to the scrap to be smelted down. So, you know, it's kind of sad. Go ahead.
Easy way of identifying wrought iron. How do you do that?
Well, it has a different look. A lot of times you'll see, like if it's in a big rusty pile, rusty stuff that's mild steel, it just disintegrates. It gets like Swiss cheese and it flakes off. Wrought iron, when it gets rusty or it starts, delaminating is what they call it. When it actually starts delaminating, it starts splitting at the fibers, and you can start seeing it open up kind of like a piece of knotty wood that's been split open. You'll see that in a scrap pile instead. That's one way of finding out. Other way is to do a nick test. So you just cut it and then you bend it. And if it pulls and there's like grains and it snaps like a branch and it's all gnarly out on the ends, that's wrought iron. Mild steel won't do that. It'll snap off and just have a clean grain structure to it. So we'll go to the anvil. Great question.
Mr. Clifton Tube asked if you can etch wrought iron to bring out the grain.
Yep, you can etch it perfectly. Plenty of smiths have done that over the years. Have I caught up on all the questions?
Yeah, I was just kind of scrolling through, working my way back to the bottom.
Okay, good.
What? Says, I really like that barn/shop.
Awesome. Glad you like it. I love it. It's been a great workshop for me.
Learn Lost Skills says, very interested in your opinion of the H&H Swage block. Mine was handed down for generations in my family, was stolen last January along with $30,000 in tools.
Ooh.
The thief was caught. No tools were recovered though.
What was the question? You're not talking loud enough for me to hear.
Your opinion on the H&H Swage block?
H&H Swage block. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the brands of Swage blocks. But if it's a Swage block, I love it. Oh. Usually if it's like, I'm a man of many Swage blocks. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the other room. I got 8 different Swage blocks in this shop. And that's not to mention the other type Swage blocks that go in at the power hammer and other things like that. So I'm a big fan of Swage blocks, so I imagine I like it. Good question.
Jeffrey Walker says he was given some wrought iron from the Real Wrought Iron Company.
That's probably the company I'm thinking of. Yep.
Bruce L. Stanton says, I hope you two know that you are inspirational.
I really hope so. That's what we put our efforts into. Thank you. I'm very inspired to hear that. It's good. It goes both ways. All right, this is warm. I'm trying to debate on what I want to do here. I'll probably take this heat on this, and then we'll give something else away. How's that sound?
Okay, that'll work.
What time are we at?
You're at 6:10.
6:10 already.
Uh-huh.
Gee willikers, Batman.
Last time you asked, we're at 6:04. It was only 6 minutes later.
All right, I just wondering. Time's flying.
It is.
Time's flying. Yeah, that needs to go for a bit more. Oh.
Mr. Clifton too, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Thank you.
What is the advantage of a coal forge compared to a gas forge?
Ooh, there's a lot of advantages to a coal forge over a gas forge. One of the biggest advantages is weird stock. So when you've got a gas forge is great if you've got a bar or something to stick in, right? If you got Damascus to work on, or if you've got a knife or things like that, a katana, something flat, something bar shaped, right? Maybe you're punching holes in something, hammer billets, tooling that is like handheld punches and tools, and even making tongs and things like that. Gas forges lend themselves very well to that. Where gas forges fail is when you start getting into weird, interesting stuff like scroll work. Then you have to make custom gas forges to fit the type of work that you're doing, and that's where they fail. Whereas with a coal forge, I can just reshape the size of the fire to where I need it for what size stock I'm working on. Now, the downside to a coal forge is it doesn't know the difference between I'm going to melt your steel and your steel's not hot enough. It has no temperature control whatsoever. You can't adjust pressures to it. The only thing you can do is kind of guess by hearing where your air flows at and visually how hot your fire is. So it does require a lot more maintenance and you to be with this versus a gas forge. You can just kind of stick a bar in there and it's never going to go to the point where it goes molten unless you have the fire cranked up to where it could go molten. And most gas forges really can't get to that temperature anyhow. There's a few out there that can, but for the most part, they come up to just welding heat. As where a coke forge or a coal forge can take a bar of steel and melt it into a puddle every day of the week without a doubt and not care. So the heat's a lot more intense and localized. So the advantage of a coal forge over a gas forge, if you can have one, is the ability to shape your fire whatever direction you like. Downside, you need skill to know how to shape that fire the way you like. Oh, we can go to the anvil.
Okay.
Great question. Thank you for asking it.
Robert Lannis says, which is better, a round fire pot or a square one?
Neither. Neither is better. The fire pot just simply holds the coke of the fire. Round, square, don't matter. Rectangle, oblong, ovular, doesn't matter.
Gary McDowell asked if blanks come with instructions. Gary, we have, if we've released a video on them so far, it's actually in the description of the blank listing itself. So yeah, we do have those, and the ones where we don't have them yet, we are working on trying to get those in the future so that there will be instructions available. But a lot of them, they really can be customized to whatever you want it to be.
All right, there we go. Now we're ready to make our very first scroll. Your very first scroll is going to be, are we at camera number 2?
Yep.
Our very first scroll is going to be this leaf scroll. Kind of like a water leaf scroll, not quite. It's just a little small leaf finial scroll. That's going to be our very first scroll that we have to make. Because that's going to indicate where our scroll here, our penny scroll, that's going to attach to our sled is going to be. So we need to make that first. Now I've already made one bracket for, if you look at the front of the sled, I've made one bracket for the left side of the sled. So now I need to make my next bracket as I'm looking at it. I need to make it for the right side of the sled. So that needs to go like so when I'm working on it, when it gets scrolled up, if that makes sense. So this leg that's bent back will become this scroll. This leg that's going straight forward will become the leaf scroll. But I do need to keep it in mind how I'm hammering on this to turn that into a leaf scroll. That will matter. Because if you get them both on the same side, then you've got something wonky here. And that's gonna matter when we do the other two as well. So you do have to pay attention to which way you're bending these, because nothing like scrolling it all up one direction, and that was the absolute wrong direction. You should have been scrolling it on a weird piece like this. All right, on we go.
Neil Graham says he's going sledding with you when it's done.
You have to fight the kids off of it first.
Mm-hmm. Eddie Bradford, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, I learned so much from your channel. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Eddie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for everybody who's donated in the stream this evening, and everyone who's become a channel member. That is awesome. Thank you so much. All right. While that tip heats up, let's talk for a second, if we can. We're going to talk about the blanks that we have over our website real quick.
Okay.
So, because I'm about to give some more of them away. So here recently we've added to the website, we've added a bunch of heart blanks, heart-shaped bowl blanks, and some heart hook blanks for Valentine's Day. And if you miss out on the Valentine's Day run, you could also get them for a Mother's Day. They'll work out really well for that. And I do intend on having the tutorial videos of how to actually make these bowls and how to make the heart hooks themselves. Pretty self-explanatory, but there will be video demonstrations of all of our blanks of how to actually make the blank itself. And there is right now, of all the blanks that we have online, they all have a video, do they not, Jessica? Yep, they all have a, yeah, they all have a video on them, I believe. All the blanks that we offer. Yeah, all the skillets and everything. Yep, I'm correct at saying that. So.
Have we done the solid spatula ladle?
No, we don't have that one yet. So, yeah, that one's still coming out. That's on the to-do list. So, yeah, so we will actually have instructions on those. And, yeah, we do sell those. We manufacture them right here in-house. I cut them out on my little Langmuir Systems cutting table, a little CNC plasma bed that I've got over there in the metal shop. And so, you know, if you want to check those out, that's great. Another great thing about if you're a channel member, you do save on those. They're already pretty cheap as they come, but if you're a channel member, then you get stuff like 10, 15, 25, 50, 75% off on a lot of these blanks and stuff for being a channel member. So, you know, definitely go check that out if you guys, you know, get the hankering to do so. That is, again, over at blacksmithpds.com. The link for that will be down in the description down below. So I figured we'd offer some heart blanks and things like that. We'll do that right after this heat. We will give those away. Was that good? Talked sufficiently long enough for our advert?
Yes.
We're back on the main screen?
Yep.
We're getting all technical with it, huh?
Paul, yes, they are all mild steel.
Yep, they're all mild steel. All right, here we go. Go to camera number 2. Mm-hmm. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to forge a tip on this. We do not want a sharp tip. We want it kind of blunt. Okay? We're not going to do any necking down or anything weird with this. We are literally just forging a nice blunt tip on this piece. 2 reasons for that. 1, for the look, and 2, there's kids' legs involved. So keep that in mind. Anything that's super sharp could snag, you know, a kid's leg if they fell off or something like that. So those are things to, you know, be mindful of. All right, so now that we've got that little blunted tip on the end, I wouldn't say that's over a 1/2 inch long or about 12.5 mil long. You don't want to go any longer than that, just for reasons of we don't want it to be sharp and for the stylized of the leaf. So now I'll heat that back up, and then we will spread the leaf from the flat to the bar like that. All right. What do we got, Jess? We good?
Yep. Asmerka Outdoors says great selection of blanks, and someone asked if we will be continuing to add to our blank collection.
Yep, we will. We'll constantly be adding to the blank collection. Right now, I've got a bit of a trimming issue with the bed of trying to get it perfectly square, straight up and down, and there's a little bit of play in the Z-axis, so I can't cut. I have the ability to cut really thick material for different blacksmith tools that I have in mind that I want to be able to make. But until I get that issue fixed, I can't be cutting tools because they all got like a weird bevel on them. It's not, you don't really see it, and it doesn't matter on stuff that's thin, like in a blank. It doesn't matter, it's on the edge. It doesn't matter at all. It just makes it look like, if anything, it looks like it was chisel cut out, if anything. But when I go to the thicker material, then I'm like, okay, well, I need to fix that. So, but we'll be offering some blacksmithing tools once I do get that figured out as well. So that'll all be over there. All right, we're gonna go to camera number 2.
All right.
All right, now I'm gonna use the cross peen and the hammer, and I'm gonna start spreading out this leaf. This is about 1.5 inches of material, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches or so is how we're spreading this. That's how much material we've got on here. Again, we're looking for a nice broad leaf. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Then I'm going to come over to the round of the horn to clean out any cross hammer marks I have. And this is way too cold to be hitting on it. So I'm going to stop there before I take that too far. And there you go, a nice broad leaf.
Bulldog Welding says it's a cold day in Michigan. Good thing the forge is cranked up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's only hot like right here, but I can't stay here all day. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a little bit more cleanup work on this to do. Good.
Dan Roswell said, thinking on this, I've moved since I met you in Ohio. Guess you moved too. But we'd have to trek up a mountain to find snow to use the sled.
Oh, so he's moved, eh? Well, congratulations on the move. Go camera number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just talking about you and Chirpy the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're ever up in Michigan way, you need to come visit me again. Get Chirpy and come on.
Mm-hmm. Don Greenhall, yes, we're still doing some classes even despite everything going on. In 2021, this year, Roy will be doing a conference at BAM, Blacksmith Association of Missouri, and their spring conference. And also, Roy's doing at least 2 classes in Goshen, Ohio with Jamie, the Goshen blacksmith there. And we also do private classes as well.
You got burrs. All right, gotta check this.
Okay.
Boom. Yes. No. Yes. That way.
Aimless Adventure, thank you for the $20 for a Roy rant.
Plenty of Roy rants out there, huh?
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Who was that?
Aimless.
Aimless Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the $20 super chat. For that, I will take it. We'll see if we can't dish up a Roy rant.
Redbeards, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, like the new audio setup, can't wait to see the sled finished.
Awesome. Thank you, Redbeard. Greatly appreciate it.
And Jim Berkeley, thank you also for the $5 super chat. We are located in Harrisville, Michigan, which is northern Lower Peninsula, Michigan.
Yeah.
Newt, I'll be specific for you. He's like, people think you're in the UP if you just say northern Michigan. So northern Lower Peninsula.
Well, people could think that all they like. We were close enough to the UP to be in the UP, but
Yeah, it's not too far.
not too far from it.
James Hartman says, Roy, how do you forge the reindeer?
How do I forge a reindeer? Very carefully. They don't really like it when you smack them around. All right, we're going to the anvil?
Yep.
Okay. So here I'm going to coax out my leaf, start getting it curling around. Now, I'm not going to go too far with this because in order to make, in an effort to make all 4 of these roughly the same size and whatnot, I am going to hook this around a scrolling jig. So I'm not going to go too far until I can put my scrolling jig up in the anvil and make sure I'm getting where I need to be. See, so I've already rolled that a little bit too tight as it is. But there, that'll be better. So now I can roll that on around and that'll look good. So I'm using my scroll jig to make sure I get the same openness and everything on all of my scrolls. So pull that up. See if I can't take it on around. So that's got a little bit tighter in there. So I can make it a little bit tighter. But I'll be using my scroll jig to make sure everything's right. Now usually I do everything by hand. I can do all 4 of these scrolls by hand, but I'm just going to showcase off what it looks like on a jig for this time around. Basically it's wash, rinse, repeat. But I'm wanting all the scrolls to look symmetrical and even. And I don't really have the time in the stream to make them that way.
Black Collar Ironworks, thank you for the super chat. $10 super chat says,
Thank you.
Roy, my dad asked me to ask you when you're going to forge Jess a room. It looks like she's freezing. Frozen emoji smiley face. I'm actually not doing too bad. I have 3 layers on my legs and 4 layers on my uppers. So, and I got a heater right next to me. So.
Ah, she's doing all right. She's a toughin'.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
She's not too bad. Of course, I'm speaking for her right now. She can speak for herself.
Snow is coming tomorrow, says Dawn. Well,
Dawn,
right.
let's hope it comes.
We've been waiting for some.
You know, if it's going to be cold, let there be snow. That's my thing, right? Like, I don't like cold and just miserable rain. I don't like just cold and wet. Just cold and dry, and it fools you, makes you think it's going to be a sunny day. I don't like that. If it's going to be cold, let there be snow. That's my opinion of it. Tighten that up just a fuzz. Get this on here. Right on around we go. There we have it. Beautiful. Get that off the anvil. Time being.
Roger Cameron, thank you for the super chat. He says, do you have a video of making the scroll jig?
A video of making the scroll jig.
That particular one.
No, I do not. This was actually made in class down at Goshen, Ohio. A scroll making class that I did. And it was patterned off of Jamie Geyer's dad's scroll jig that he had. So let's get that out of the way there. All right, can we see that? Look good? Everybody can see it?
Yeah.
Looks great, looks fine?
Yep.
Yeah? Coolio.
Majestic Space Duck says, all we get here in the UK is cold and wet and rarely snow.
Yeah, see, that's not my kind of weather.
Eddie Bradford, Roy's doing the conference in Missouri. Sorry if I said class. Yeah, it's a conference.
Yeah, conference. I am the main conference demonstrator for BAM this year.
Which I believe the dates are April 28th to May 1st, if I remember correctly.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say main. I don't know if I'm the main one or not. I was asked to be a part of it anyhow, so that's what I'll be doing. We'll get that warmed up, get that other leg bent back forward, so this way we can form our finial on it. We'll take another quick look at our example piece and make sure that we're curling everything the right direction.
They say scroll is looking good. Says
What's that?
Johnny Kula says scroll is looking good.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Violet Lamar said,
Thank you.
I've never seen a scrolling tool like that, but it worked awesome.
Yep. They're pretty common. Scroll jigs are pretty common like that. There's more modern ones out there that like are meant to bend scrolls, bend stuff cold. It's like a Hebo bender. But I don't like it. Basically produces fake scrolls with flats on the ends that look terrible. In my humble opinion. Humble, not so humble opinion. So, all right, back to the anvil.
Okay. Master Keep says, what is the hammer to anvil ratio?
Big to little. He probably doesn't like me for that. Some people say it's 6 to 1. Some people say it's 10 to 1. To be honest with you, I don't really get into all that. Some people say it's 4 times to 1. I think it comes down to a matter of preference and what you have and how securely that anvil is attached to something. That's the main point. So we got that straight. Get that hot again. It matters more. It matters more what your anvil's probably attached to a lot of the time than even the mass of the anvil. So, you know, obviously everything has balances, gives and takes, right? Olga is so heavy that I could set her on a wood block somewhere and it wouldn't matter. Or set her on the dirt, or set her on sand, or set her on, you know, a concrete piling, or set her on a steel base. It doesn't matter. There's enough mass under that hammer that you're not going to possibly hit it with a large enough hammer to do anything to move the anvil around on you, okay? But when you start getting down to smaller anvils, obviously you can't hit a 4-pound anvil with an 8-pound hammer. You can, but your anvil's not going to last very long. That's not going to be good long term, and you're not going to be getting a ton of work done, which is the goal of having a heavy enough anvil and, you know, hard enough and all that jazz, right? So it's just kind of gives and takes. So if you have a small anvil, just make sure your hammer isn't larger than what your anvil is and weight, and you know, you should be fine. In my opinion, I like the largest anvil you can get, but that's a personal preference. That's not the law, right? Like that's not what you have to do. You know, you're a beginner and all you can get is a 100-pound anvil, get a 100-pound anvil. You can get a 60, a 50-pound, a Harbor Freight, whatever you can get to start the craft of blacksmithing and practice, get an anvil. Just get one. And then you can always adjust from there. Play on a buddy's anvil. You might like, oh man, 125-pound anvil is all I would ever need. I have said that in my past. And here I am with a 465-pound anvil in my workshop. So give yourself that license to do whatever you got to do. There. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Go to the anvil. All right, so we're going to stick a cube of material over the edge of the anvil. We're going to hammer straight down, half on, half off close. When I say a cube, however wide the bar stock is, that's how much material you set over the edge of the anvil. We're going to roll this up into a penny scroll. Make sure it's good and thinned out. Got to keep this nice and thin. I will end up forging this a bit more to get that nicely rounded. Hopefully you guys can see how it's transforming. Roy rant. I was supposed to do a Roy rant.
You were.
Do we have a question?
Oh, I was just going to say, welcome to a new member, Thousand Hammer Studio.
Thousand Hammer Studio, congratulations of being a member of the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much for your membership. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you everybody who super chatted, by the way. That will go a long way to shipping things. Greatly appreciate that. Roy Rant. Roy Rant. I'll do that. Roy Rant. That's how I say it again. Roy Rant.
Oh yes, I was supposed to tell you when we were at 6:30 also.
When we're at the what?
6:30?
Oh, we're at 6:30. Okay. Time's flying. So I won't make it a long one then. All right. So little Roy Rant. A lot of this, I'm just going to hammer you all down with a little bit of wisdom here. A lot of times, you can go to the anvil, Jess. A lot of times as a beginning smith, you think that it is the tools that are failing you, or it's the tools that are what's making your project. And it is not. It is you. It is the smiths that make the tools, not the tools that make the smith. I say that again and again and again and again, and I will probably say that and have it on my headstone when I die. I will have that same saying. And the reason why I say that so much is a lot of people get concerned with all of these things about, you know, the right anvil height, the right anvil edge geometry, the right anvil size, the right kind of anvil, the right hammer, the right socks to put on in the morning, right? The right cup of coffee to drink, the right whatever. You can add whatever it is there, okay? And really, all of that stuff is nonsense and it's open to subjecture, okay? There are some things that are just facts. An anvil that is big is heavy. That's a fact. It's a law of the universe. The larger the anvil, chances are the heavier that anvil is going to be, right? You can't escape those things. But what matters most in smithing is your own skill level that you're applying to the ironwork. I do stuff and I make it look easy. I did that whole penny scroll in one heat. A whole finial, one heat. Other people might take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heats to do what I just did in one heat. Now before you think I'm bragging, that's just the way it is. Certain things I do well, other stuff I need more practice at in order to be able to do things as efficiently. But the main thing that I have going for me with experience in the shop is the ability to hit with authority and confidence where I need to put my hammer blows. I know exactly where I want to throw out my hammer blows to. And if they come out wrong, if those hammer blows come out wrong and I'm not hitting where I need to be, guess what? I know how to fix it in an instant. And those are some of the things that you don't see because it's just a slight changing of the pitch of the hammer or whatever to address something before it gets out of control. When you're just getting started, you may think, man, I really suck at this. You haven't learned to pick that hand-eye coordination up yet and register like, oh, if I keep hitting it this way, it's going to twist on me. And then when it twists on me, I'm going to hammer it and it's going to create a rhombus. You're not thinking that when you first become, when you first start out blacksmithing. So that is more crucial for you to get the fundamentals in and think why something's happening to you and diagnose issues at the forge that you're working on and even get help from a knowledgeable smith, whoever you can partner up with, or smithing organization, and ask questions about those things. The questions about what power tool should I buy, what power hammer is best, what's press is best, or this or that, none of them. The answer is none of them. None of them are the best. They come, they go. Some manufacturers are great on quality control. Some suck. Some are lemons. There's a whole list of variables when it comes to that. And the largest variable is you, yourself, your capabilities and competency at the forge in the anvil work that you're working on. It's why I stress the fundamentals so hard in everything that I do. Because if you don't have the fundamentals, you are you are lacking, severely lacking as a smith. And that is a fundamental, that is a law of the universe. If you don't have a foundational knowledge of understanding what it is that you're doing, how do you know how to do better? You don't know what you don't know. So, let me go to camera number 2, Jess.
Okay.
Or have I been there all this time?
Nope, I just went when I knew you were about to go there.
All right. So now we're going to take this part here and we're going to twist it in line with the flat of our scroll, the direction that it's actually going to be scrolling. Then we're going to hammer out that twist. All right, hammer it out in this direction. And that's almost ready to roll right up. Stretch that a little bit more. I'm just cleaning it up, mainly just planishing the surface. So it's all nice, one even, congruent surface there. Brush it nicely. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Looks good?
Yeah, it does.
Good. All right, that's ready to scroll up. Before we do that, we should give some more stuff away since we are coming down to the wire here.
642.
642. All right. You want to talk to him for a second while I go check on something?
Yep, sure, that'd be fine.
All right, and then we will give away some hearts and stuff. Huh?
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's see here. Let me see if I can find a few questions to answer. Patrick Gill, you're still here. Good. Dan Roswood, Roy's Fundamental Series is fantastic. Anyone that is new to this, I still practice a few of his recommended trainings. That's good. Jeff Mortalloni, what is the tool that he just used to twist that? I believe those were the scrolling tongs, both kind of cone-shaped on the end of the tongs. John says, Roy rants are great. Walt Perkhurst, swedge, oh my. Yep, we're getting there. Well, let's see here. Who else do we have? Speargrass Forge. So apart from that, how are you, Jess? I'm doing good. Yeah, my toes are a little numb, but the rest of me is good. Taiwan Jones, woohoo, made it back to catch some more. Yep, we're still going. Fearless Ferris Fire, what is your favorite blank? Let me think. Probably out of all the blanks, I don't know if it's his favorite, but he's probably used the most of skillet blanks. Roy's giving away his heart, Jess. Oh. You guys are great with puns. Techron Matic, take care. Mr. Clifton Tube, can't wait for the Swage. Yep. It'll be coming up here real shortly. And like Roy mentioned, this is the first out of 12 this year. And so every second live stream we do during 2021, we will be giving away a Swage block. So one a month. And we partnered with Holland Anvil to bring it to you guys. So yeah, that's awesome. Get up and do some jumping jacks. Yeah, that would definitely help.
Test, test, test. Am I connected?
Let me see here.
Am I good to go? Test, 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 test. Do you see my you see my bar on there?
Yep, it's good.
Yeah, we're good?
What is my favorite blank? I've been doing some little cross pendants. So yeah, I actually do those out of copper. Those would be my favorite. And I'm actually starting to play around with cutting some flower blanks to make some little flower ring dishes. So I haven't finished making them yet. I'm probably going to enamel them. Chris Mallory, glad you made it to our live stream as well.
Cool.
Speargrass Forge, when are we going to see you heat and beat some steel again, Jess? Yeah. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to, maybe it might not be steel, it might be copper, because I do like copper better, but maybe one of my future projects that I have on the docket, maybe I'll film that.
All right, are we ready to give something away?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You all don't know how tough that is for Jessica to talk to you that much in one straight line.
I know.
Talking's my thing in the family.
It is. It is.
So everyone give Jessica a round of applause in the comment section. She really does do a phenomenal job. So, all right. So let's give some blanks away, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of blanks. Rally it up.
Yep.
And give a Swage block away. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
And then I'll finish my scroll work.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Yep. It's
Good?
not gonna burn, right? Not gonna burn?
Nope, it's not in the fire.
Okay.
Sound good? Everybody's excited?
Yep.
All right, let's give some blanks away. Then we will give away a 50-pound Holland Swage block. So exciting. Oakley dokley, neighbors. Camera number 2.
Okay.
You there?
Yep.
All righty. So we are going to start with our heart blanks. Right here, we've got 3 different sizes. We're going to give away one at a time to 3 lucky individuals. We're going to give away a 4-inch heart, a 6-inch heart, and an 8-inch heart bowl. So we're going to give those away to you, one at a time there. And then we will also be giving away a pack of 3, several packs of 3 of these heart hooks, just in time for Valentine's Day.
They almost look like little metal lollipops.
They do, don't they? Little metal
Yeah.
lollipops. That'll really send you to the dentist's office, won't it? Oh. All right, so let's start with the little 4-inch heart bowl.
Okay.
Again, you can find these blanks over at our website, blacksmithpds.com. You can go find that link down in the description if you do want to purchase these, if you don't win one. And we ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we will get them shipped out with all the giveaway items. So that way we're guaranteed, well, hopefully we'll be able to guarantee that they get to you by the time of Valentine's Day, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The postal system will work.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot better.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot
Way
better. So
better.
that's thankful for that. So, all right, we ready? Are they commenting?
They are.
Are they going like crazy?
Yep.
Okay. Are we on the main cam?
No.
All right. You want to go to the main cam, or are we going to do camera number 2? We'll do main cam.
Either one. Yeah,
There you
main
go.
cam. We're there now.
You know, we get your brand new piece of technology, and you're a little slacking
Well,
over
I
there on
wasn't
switching.
slack. I was looking at the screen. You were like still aiming it towards the secondary camera. So I'm like, okay.
I'm doing that because I have no clue whether
Okay.
you're on the main cam or the secondary cam.
Okay. Well, we're on the main cam.
All right, we're on the main cam. All right, we're going to give away the 4-inch heart bowl.
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1. Who do we have?
We have John Robinson with Blink Me.
John Robertson, you've been blinked, good sir. You're the winner of the 4-inch heart bowl. Get with us through the contact email in the description, and we will get that shipped out to you. All right, now let's give away, turn to the light, can they see it?
Yep.
Let's give
there you
away the 6-inch heart, shall we?
Okay.
The 6-inch heart bowl. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Set? Are they still commenting?
They are.
Are
They're
people
still-
excited?
They are. I
Good.
see lots of heart emojis.
All right, let's see what we got. Can a blacksmith get a little love? Who do we got, Jess?
We have Rogers Fix-It Barn with hearts.
Ha ha! Roger Fix-It's Barn. Congratulations, good sir. You won a nice 6-inch heart bowl to give to one of your loved ones. Hey?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you give it to your wife or one of your loved ones, you can be like, it's because I've got a heart of steel. Boom. I know that was corny. Don't say that.
They've got all kinds.
I'm sure they've got
all
plenty of
kinds
ones.
of
All right,
puns.
now we'll have the biggest heart of them all.
The biggest
For
heart.
the person in the stream that has the most love in their heart. Ready?
Yep.
There's so many heart puns that can come off of this. So
There is.
we have hardly started. All right, let's go.
Starting to sound like Studio C.
Who we got?
We have Brian Howman with I'll Take a Blank.
Hey, Brian Howman. Congratulations. You got an 8-inch heart blank. Congratulations. All right. Let's give a bunch of these away, eh?
Yep. Let's
Boom.
do it. Trying to make sure I spelt his name correctly so I didn't get confused.
Yeah. Got to be careful. Huh.
Yeah.
All right, ready? So we're going to give away a 3-pack of hearts,
Okay.
and we're going to give a whole bunch of these away, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are we steady?
Yep.
Ready to go?
Ready, steady, go.
All right. Go. These are for the 3-pack of heart hooks. Who do we have?
Gene Simonelli with Big-Hearted People Give Big Hearts.
Hey, Gene Simonelli. Congratulations, buddy. You won 3 heart hooks from us.
Mm-hmm.
Get with us. Contact us. Email. We will get it sent out to you. Mm-hmm. You know Linnea would love it if you did.
Linnea might be the one making them.
Huh?
So Linnea might end up
yes,
being the one making them.
Yes, she might be the one making them, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's good. All right, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's give away another one.
All right.
Another pack of 3. You ready? Get set. Go. Are they still commenting?
They are.
Are they enjoying it? They having a good time? Who do we have?
Renee Mills Mistreta with like a dozen hearts.
Woohoo! Renee Mills, right?
Uh-huh.
Congratulations. You got 3 hearts. Not a dozen, but you got 3 of them. You can always go over to our website and pick up the rest. Just saying.
Go for a full dozen.
I'm too cheesy to be a salesman. Let's do pack number 3. Let's see what we got. See what we got. See what we got. Who do we got?
We have, let's see here, Fernando Gomez, love please.
Hey, Fernando Gomez, you are loved. You are loved, Fernando. Hopefully we're pronouncing that right. I don't have a screen, so I'm just going off of her misspellings.
I'm going to say, I don't think I could mispronounce Fernando.
Okay, Fernando Gomez, congratulations. You won 3 hearts, sir. Get with us through the contact email, and we will ship these out to you. Mm-hmm. And again, these are open to anywhere in the world. We'll ship them anywhere. So our cost. Actually, technically, all those super chatters and channel members costs. They come in hugely handy for making these streams possible. So make sure to give them a round of applause. All right, we ready? Let's give another way.
Yeah.
This is number 4. Sound good?
Sounds good.
This is like a fireworks display on the 4th of July.
There's everything all at once. The grand finale.
All right, what do we got?
We have Robert W. Carnial with Heart Me.
Robert W.?
Yep.
Congratulations, Robert W. You got some hearts there, brother. Same thing, contact email in the description. We good?
Right. Yep.
And
number 5?
Let's give out number 5. How's that sound?
Yeah, all right.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hearts because we love you all. That's why. We love you so much.
We heart you.
And the viewership just dropped. We ready? All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. Who do we have?
We have Dean F12. Heart me please, heart me please.
Dean F12, congratulations. I'm glad you won the hearts. You've been hearted. Good, sir.
You've been hearted.
Congratulations. All the winners there. All right. The big one. Real quick, before we get into the big one. Let me ask, how many people we have in the stream, Jess?
Yes. Let me go over and pull that info up. Looks like we are sitting at 286 viewers currently with, I don't know, the likes just says 2 ... So I don't know.
It's a lot. Right? 2 ...
Yeah, yep. So yeah, 286.
Well, like 2,000 likes maybe?
Maybe.
20 million likes?
I don't know. Just make up a number.
Yeah. Let's just make up a rando number.
Just 2. It's like 2.5.
One of these days we might have 2,000 people in this stream.
We might.
Never know. Could happen.
It could.
I'll freeze over before it happens, though, I'm sure.
One really chilly winter when nobody's outside.
Yeah, but nonetheless. So let's go to camera number 2, show this block off a little bit.
Okay.
So you'll be getting a Swage block just like this beauty right here from Holland Anvil. Holland Anvil, Greg and Hobie Hagen, they helped us out this year by supplying us, and we're working with them and partnering up with them to be bringing you guys 12 Swage blocks this year. So last year we did 12 anvils, and it was the year of the anvil. This year it's the year of the Swage block. And I really have to say thank you very much, Holland Anvil, for partnering with us and doing what you do. Their companies thought process and ethics align a lot with our own about, trying to sew into the blacksmithing community out there and get really good tools into blacksmiths' hands and aspiring blacksmiths as well. So really couldn't ask for a better partnership to partner with them and do this for this year. So thank you, Holland Anvil. If you're in the market for a Swage block or an anvil, go check out Holland Anvil. You will not be disappointed in their quality. They really do put out a good quality product. So go check them out. So that's enough of that advert. Again, I'm biased because 1, good product. 2, they're helping do what I like to do, which is sew out there into the blacksmithing community knowledge and tooling. So that's what we're doing. So that's what we're going to give away here once I start ringing the anvil. Again, thank you, Holland Anvil, for shipping us or be able to provide these blocks. So if you don't win, let's go back to the camera 1-1. If you don't win this block and you want another chance at it, another good crack at it, it will be at the next giveaway live stream. So I'll say this real quick since I got everybody's attention because there's a block here, right? And so I'm sure people are commenting already.
And they are.
As it is. If you want, so every stream, so we'll have 2 streams a month. Hopefully I can explain this right. We have 2 streams a month. The first stream of the month is going to be from here on out throughout the year of 2021. The first stream of the month is going to be a forging only stream. That means I'm not giving anything away. There's no door prizes. There's nothing like that. It's a hangout. It's a chat. It's let's ask tons of questions and get cool projects made. That's what that stream's for. The second live stream of the month, however, that we're condensing everything that we would have gave away in 2 live streams all into 1. So that's the way that we're doing it all throughout 2021. So for the anvils. So this anvil, this Swage block, if you don't win it this month, it will be available next month, about middle of the month, and I believe Jessica's got those streams scheduled out for you.
I do.
And
Yep,
you can go right to those, click on those links, you go right to the page of those streams and tell YouTube set a reminder so you know when we go live and maybe get another chance at it. But we'll be giving 12 of them away this year, so super excited about that.
Yep.
I've talked enough, haven't I?
Oh, their thumbs are crazy.
Their thumbs are crazy?
My thumbs need a break.
Their thumbs are crazy? Okay. All right. Are we going to do a phrase, Jessica?
We could.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or at very minimum, at least the word Swage in it.
Okay. So we should do something about that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's hear. How about big Swage? Just because it doesn't roll off the tongue. Big Swage. Big Swage is the catchphrase. Let's go for that one. That way Jessica can find it. Big Swage. You don't have to get it grammatically correct either. Just big Swage. All right? And again, this is open to the United States to be able to do this. All right? Ready?
Got to give them a minute.
Big Swage. I should just start ringing it now.
Just like ring it for 10 minutes straight.
Big Swage.
Oh, while we're giving you guys a minute to get comments in, Yamas, thank you for the $5 super chat. He sent us like 10 minutes ago. Said, alrighty, I'm kind of back, been listening. Roy is hot-blooded tonight with his rants, isn't he? Just check his blood pressure.
Hot-blooded, huh? Man, I thought I was mild. I thought I was mild.
I think you're on the more mild side.
Was I?
Yeah.
Or was I mean?
No, you're good. And Black Collar Ironworks, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, okay, I'm back. Finished cooking my pot pie.
Woohoo!
Drooly
Congratulations.
face.
Man, pot pie sounds good right now.
Hopefully he didn't burn it this time.
Yeah. Last time he burnt the pot pie, didn't he?
We got the pot pie burn.
All right. All right, we good? Thank you guys for the
yes.
super chats.
Yep.
Thank you for making it possible. Thank you to my channel members. Thank you. All right, we ready?
Yep, we got lots of big Swages.
Let's go. Big Swage. We're going to be drawing for it. Let's see how many people stick around on the stream after this is over. Who do we have, Jessica? Who is the lucky winner of the 50-pound Holland Swage block?
is Roger Cameron with Big Swage.
Roger Cameron, congratulations. You are the first winner this year of this big Swage block here, this 50-pound Holland Swage block. Thank you for being here, and thank you for joining us. Yeah, and being part of the community.
Indeed.
So, yeah, if I haven't said it enough, and I can't stress it enough, if you're not subscribed and you don't have the bell on for notifications and you don't set up stuff, YouTube is really lazy about pushing notifications to you in your phone. So if you're not allowing notifications and stuff like that on your phone or your devices, it's not going to notify you. So I've heard so many times, oh, I missed it. Like every stream, there's someone like, oh, I missed it. Oh, I set the alarm and YouTube didn't notify me and whatever. We do it the same time every single Friday, and they're always scheduled out months in advance. So you guys should be able to get here. So, don't miss out. Don't miss out on the fun. Make sure you're subscribed, bell for notifications, sign up to get emailed when we go live, that sort of stuff. That way you can get in and increase your chances of winning.
That's right.
All right. So this is good and hot. I need to go ahead and scroll this. Let's go to camera number 2.
Alrighty.
Okay. Before I take this too far, I am going to check this thing to make sure I'm rolling it the correct direction. As I said, we got left, right, I'm rolling it. Okay, that's there. Make sure. Rolling it down. Yeah, I think that's gonna be correct. Yep, that's gonna be correct. Good, just double check it. Always double check it before you go too far. Get that extra scale off there because it's been sitting in the fire for like ever.
Robert Lana says, roll that beautiful scroll footage.
Roll that beautiful scroll footage. All right, now what we got, Jess?
What do we have?
Good?
Yeah, just some congratulations and some people still typing in Big Swage.
Sorry, all out of Swages until next month's stream. Oh.
I'm out.
Oh, man.
John Polianch, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, thank you guys. Giveaways are always exciting.
Awesome. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Greatly appreciate that.
Veteran Iron and Wood. Yeah, I thought the screen froze for a second too because Roy was like absolutely still. I'm like, did it freeze? But yeah, and I realized he was just thinking. He's being very still. Yeah, the light's changing, so that doesn't count. And the fire's flickering.
Oh, so it doesn't work now?
It doesn't work. It only worked on the second screen.
Be like mid-stroke.
He froze.
I probably shouldn't do that. People are like, well, stream's over. He froze. I'm out of here.
Bob Kemp says they're leaving fast. But yeah, we were just under 300 people. 229.
Just under 300 people.
They're going to miss out the fun scrolly bits.
You're going to miss out on the scrolly bits. All right, we at camera number 2?
Yep.
All right. Roll that on around. Now this is the difficult part. Because I can get that started, so that's good there. Double check it to my other one. Need to tighten that up for fuzz. This one's a little on the loose side. You're bound to run into reach issues when you've got something like this, double scrolls in the same spot on a scroll jig. That's just par for the course. It happens. It's not a big deal. You just have to wing the rest of it. Get it kind of eyeballed where you want it.
Britain 774. No, the giveaways are dispersed throughout the live stream.
Yep.
Yes, if you were a winner, make sure you contact us as outlined in the video description. It has all the info down there, like, you know, if you're under 18, your parent has to contact us and stuff like that. Before the end of the stream, I'll recap on all the winners' names.
Double sure I'm where I want to be. I am.
Chaos Lemon, enjoy smithing with your wife. Said he's gonna leave this playing
Doing
in the
what?
background. He's gonna go smithing with his wife.
Okay, smithing with, okay. Smithing with his wife. I heard something.
Okay.
I like it. Hey, young man. This is PG. No, this is G rating.
P. Jackson says he's working on fundamental playlist. Can he upset after tapering just to save on material?
Can he do
could.
what? Say that again?
Can he upset after tapering to save on material? Basically reshaping the same bar over and over. You could.
You can. It's an awful lot of work. So you got to be really sure that that's what you want to do. All right, just got to make sure I do this right. Shaboom, shaboom, shabang, shaboom. Yeah. All right, yep. Just got to bend it out and it ought to be good. Copacetic.
Brittinghammer Forge said, I'd like to get a close-up on where you hook the scroll to the jig, please.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me, yeah, this is fine. Let's go to camera room 2. I'll show that real quick.
Okay.
Can you see that there?
Uh-huh.
This is about as close up as I want to get without having to move my shot and refocus everything. So where I hook it on is I hook it around this center portion. So it gets hooked on here, and I just pull it around. Sometimes it's advantageous if you take a pair of scroll tongs and you hold it like that. You use your tongs to grip the piece, like so. You grip it and then pull the piece on around after that. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a little dark this evening, ladies and gents, and the reason for that being is I'm actually down one video light, so it decided to die on me. So that is the reason why it is dark in here. Go to camera number 2.
Chuck Miller says, I can't wait to see this project completed.
It's going to be a good one, I think. I hope. We shall see. So that is enough for that for right this second.
Violet Lamar, normally we run from 5 to 7 p.m. We're a little past 7 now in Eastern time zone. Roy's just reaching a good stopping point.
Yeah. Well, I'm about done with this scroll, so we're probably going to finish it. So
Okay.
just for those that want to hang out. I want to try to start stopping a lot earlier in the evening and definitely make it a 7 o'clock kind of stop thing. But that is going to take, on a big project like this, that is one problem of doing a large scale work, is if you rush the part or the piece, it's going to look rushed, and then it won't, you put all your work into this piece and it just comes out looking like garbage. So it's kind of difficult to make that balance point. There's a lot of stuff like little finish up work and little finish tippity tap stuff that I can wait to do off camera, but in general to convey the whole message of what it is that I'm working on, that's the harder point. That's the harder part. So there you go. Now we got 2 scrolls going 2 opposite directions. There's a penny scroll. There's a leaf scroll.
Cool.
Now we put the penny scroll on the other end and we finish this bracket off. Do that. I'm going to do something I normally don't do, which is cool off. my scroll ends on that one side.
And your half frozen quench tank.
Yep, my half frozen quench tank. Okay. Now I can hold on to that end while I make the other end of the scroll. So.
P. Jackson says, I can see all the other kids running out of the way when you guys get on the hill. Somebody said we need to film everyone's reactions when we go sledding.
Yeah.
Film the faces. Chirpy, take care.
What's that?
I said, Chirpy, take care. He's got to run.
Take care, Chirpy. Thanks for being here, pal.
Bortikov, the shop cat is doing well. He
Yep.
hasn't been around in a day or two, but he'll show
Oh,
back
he's
up.
been around.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he just sleeps.
Oh.
He's fat and happy. That's about it. He sleeps and then he goes peruses the neighborhood.
Jonathan Knight says, what's your suggestion for a first blank for a brand spanking new guy who's just been playing with materials so far?
A blank?
Uh-huh.
Well, a fun one is one of our cross blanks, if you're into that, because it kind of incorporates some riveting work and then as much texture work as you like to do for stuff. So it kind of incorporates a different skill set and it's layered. So that's kind of a neat effect. And it's really not that hard to do. It's just drilling holes and then putting rivets in and riveting them up. And the rivets are provided. That's one fun thing to do. Any hook type blank is going to be really easy to do. For the Christmas stuff, we had Christmas ornaments, things like that. Those are just basically you texture them, you know, put a hole in them and hang it on a tree, or put a hole in it and screw it to, you know, your wall or something like that. Those are always really simple projects to do. Really, blanks are really super easy to do. That's the whole point of having a pre-cut blank, because it's already got some of your form there, and all you have to do is form it and forge it into the final product of what you want. So it kind of cuts out a lot of hammer time of taking a raw piece of steel that has no form of what you're looking for and having to completely transform it to get it into shape. So, you know, like if you've got a swedge block or a cupping tool or a depression like a wood stump, any of the bowl designs is a great thing to, you know, start forging on. You can just hammer them right up. They're really super easy. It's not hard. I've got tons of videos on the channel around forging bowls and swedge blocks and how to make your own swedges and things like that. So I can recommend those things. Let's go over to the anvil, Jess.
All right. David Owen, the green names are our channel members.
Yep.
Blue Nose Forge, love the Christmas ornament blanks. Yeah.
Awesome.
We plan on coming up with a lot more for 2021 that you'll see towards fall.
Yeah.
Stefan Mierke says, awesome scroll work.
Awesome what?
Awesome scroll work.
Well, thank you, Stephen. So I'm forging a much larger penny scroll on this end, okay? It's just like this one, just like the one that we previously have done. Basically, we're setting off a cube of material, or a square, if you will, of material. It's 1 inch wide, so it's 1 inch long over the edge of the anvil. And then we are hammering with half on, half off blows to set that material down. And then we're going to keep forging on that and round this end up.
Newman 357, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Hey, thank you.
He says, when you first started this as a hobby, how often did you break away from your job and family to pursue this before going pro? I find times where I can't get out to the garage for weeks at a time.
Well, I'd say it was probably, the blacksmith bug bit me really hard. It was probably every week, every weekend, or every other weekend type thing. And then it kind of got to every weekend. And then it came to like in the evening when I started selling stuff, you know, I started selling some things, and it became like in the evening after I got off my regular day job, right? And then it just kind of built like that until I was working like 2 jobs, just about. Ready?
Yep.
Finding that balance with home life, family life, and work life is very hard to do. I still don't have it all down pat or have all the answers.
Yeah, for Roy specifically, he had been doing blacksmithing for a couple of years, and just as a hobbyist. And then we started selling some things at craft shows and on eBay. That was kind of the beginning of the transition. For those of you who haven't heard the story, Roy was in a car accident that basically ended his career in HVAC. The back injury, he wasn't able to bend and stuff like that very much, and HVAC is basically all bending over and stuff. So at that transition point, he was doing the blacksmithing, but he was also doing odd jobs, and basically any kind of odd job that came his way. We had a friend that hired him to help out with remodeling for quite a few months during that transition period.
Yep. Yeah, so I have been forging for about 13 years now. And then, am I correct on that? Yeah, about 13 years now. I've been forging for about 13 years, and of that 13 years, 9 of those have been professional as of right now. We're coming up on an anniversary, and it'll be 10 full years of, actual smithing professionally for our own business here. Go to camera number 2.
Violet Lamar says, I've had to take a 2-month long break because I injured my back real bad. It's been torture to not be able to smith.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
He was driving Roy batty when he was down with his teeth. He's like, I just want to get out there and forge.
Yep. It'll drive you batty, but it is worth taking the time off for stuff like that, health reasons. If you do not, you just end up paying for it in the long run. There's been a lot of times in my life where I have been in the position where I just have to grin and bear it and just go do it. And that was some of the problems with, like, when I got in the car wreck. I had already done plenty of work working over my back in a bad way. I had already been very bad and abusive to my body up until that point, and the car wreck was just, the straw that broke the Roy's back, basically. It was just the final straw. So taking time that you need for health reasons is definitely needed, and we as Smiths, we don't do enough. It is possible to have too much of a good thing. I know, it's tough, it's difficult. You don't want it to be so, but it's so. It is possible to have too much of a good thing.
Don Greenhall, the plasma blanks are they're cut with a CNC machine. Well, CNC plasma cutter.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they're cut with the CNC plasma cutter, and I'm the one who cuts them. Oh.
Craig Wilsey said, I just had surgery or I probably wouldn't be here now. Usually too busy to watch live. Well, we hope you have a quick recovery.
Yeah, we hope you have a really quick recovery. Still stop in and see us from time to time, though, when you do recover.
Someone had asked earlier, what can you do to help prevent carpal tunnel?
Biggest thing you could do to prevent carpal tunnel syndrome, if you work with your hands, let me just preface this with this. If you work with your hands, it's basically almost unavoidable. You're going to get it to some degree or another. Whether you get it bad enough that you have got to have surgery is one thing. But if you work with your hands, that's just that's just the plague of a working man right there. You're going to probably end up having it, or working woman either. It's not a respecter of persons. So the easiest thing you can do to prevent stuff, tennis elbow, things like that with a hammer, is to have a nice loose grip on it, and then on your tong hand to use tong clips to actually hold the steel, and don't be constantly death grip squeezing the steel. That's the best advice I can give for that, for helping prevent it. And then listen to your body. If you start aching and your arms are aching and they're hurting, you need to quit, because they're telling you, hey Bubba, we're going to hurt real bad and we're going to stay that way for a while if you don't quit. So you need to listen to your body as well. All right, back to the anvil.
Metal Blueberry says that he had carpal tunnel surgery on both of his hands, but it didn't help.
Yeah, and that is one possibility too. You know, I hate to say it, a lot of people think, well, hey, I don't have to care, I'll just go get the surgery when I get a problem. And not saying that that's what Metal Blueberry did, but I'm just saying that, you know, it doesn't it doesn't matter. You know, it's all about how rough you are, how much scar tissue there is. There's a lot of factors there.
Harold Hoshkison, thanks for joining us, and God bless you too.
Hey, thank you, Harold. Thank you for being here. God bless you. All right, we are coming close to the end of this booger, Jess. Mm-hmm. All I gotta do is twist that and then start scrolling it, and I could call her a day. Looky there.
Zach Tishk asked if you will be forging or teaching in Goshen, Ohio this year.
I will be. Right now, it is my thought process that I will be doing 2 to 3 classes this year down at Goshen. So
we need to schedule those soon.
Yep, we need to schedule those soon, and we'll probably have those figured out by the next live stream when we do those.
Yama says, starting February, I may have a couple of hosts for my Saturday streams.
What's that?
Yama says, starting in February, he might have a couple of hosts for his Saturday streams.
Cool.
Yep. I have to make sure not to call him Jess. Go to camera 2, Jess. Remember he said that before.
Yeah. They might get a little offended at him, huh?
Yeah.
All right, camera number 2.
War Tree, take care. Good luck finishing out your order and have a good evening.
Yeah, War Tree, take care. Thanks for being here. Greatly appreciate it.
Todd Good says, I hope you know you've given me so much work because I have to make one of these sleds now.
You're welcome. It was worth it then. I'm just going to clean this all up so it's nice and smooth and one nice thickness. I do have a bit of thickening here, so I'm going to have to stretch that out to get it back to even. So one last heat on that, and then I'll be ready to roll this thing. One last heat on that, and then we'll roll it. Roll it, and scroll it. I'm not showing that well enough, am I? There we go. Sometimes I forget the camera's there. That's not good.
Blockhammer, thank you for the $20 super chat. Says, love the work and channel. Just wanted to say thanks for all the lessons and hours of informational videos.
Very welcome. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you for being here and watching.
Brute Lemon sent $5. Says, still waiting on the kilt.
You'll be waiting a while. Thank you, Brute Lemon.
Alan Murdoch says, question for Roy. How hard is it to keep working and thinking about what you are doing while answering questions?
It's an acquired skill. It is very difficult, actually. Yeah. The mental game that's in the blacksmith shop is just as important to the project at hand as the actual forge work and the skill to get the work done. Because when you're answering questions, you got a lot of things to manage. I'm managing thinking about people's questions, what to answer, how in depth to go with those questions, how pertinent they are to the subject matter at hand. And then on top of that, I'm managing the fire. I'm making sure my steel doesn't burn. I am forging at the same time. I'm making sure that the project is progressing, and that all gets extrapolated and multiplied 10 times over with the complexity of whatever you're forging. So the more and more complex it is, a lot of times you'll find guys who aren't so used to demonstrating and talking and things like that I am. Again, that's me boasting. It's not meant to be, it's just true. I'm really used to this, talking and demonstrating at the same time. Guys who aren't so used to that, you'll find that the more and more complex the situation is of the forging, or the more critical it is for them to get it right, they start getting a lot quieter and sharing a lot less information until they get it done, and then they loosen up and they'll tell you everything and your brother that you want to know about it. But it is an acquired skill, for sure, and it is not easy. Camera 2?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I have some extra material thickness here from forging it down, so I'm removing that material thickness. Not necessarily looking for a taper up to the scroll, but it does have to be all the same material thickness as the original parent bar stock. You don't want it to get thicker towards the scroll. All right, that's a good shape there. Nice and elegant. I've cleaned up the profile enough, and I have planished it to thickness enough. So as I've said many a times in scrolling videos, one really important thing on scroll work, when you're transforming the bar stock, you're changing the shape and dimensions of the bar stock to suit the need for whatever the finial it is and things like that. Wherever you forge this that's not factory made, it is now uneven just by nature of you not being a perfect machine, okay? You're not a rolling mill, so you're going to have lumpy bumpies. You want to eliminate as much thick, thin as you can and make it all one nice, even piece. If you can make it all one nice, even, smooth piece before you go to scrolling things, things will go a lot better. If you have a thin spot somewhere in here and you have thick spots to either side, it does not matter, the whole piece is heated up to welding heat even. It's going to bend at the weakest point, which will be that thin spot, and you'll end with a flat versus a nice smooth arc, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind, that this setup work of planishing out these surfaces and making them smooth is not just aesthetically pleasing, it's also functionally appropriate for the forge work that you're doing. If you skip that step and you allow there to be a thin spot and a thick spot and a thin spot, you're going to get, you're going to get like your knuckles. You're going to get like knuckles into your scroll, and it's not going to look pleasing once you get it done. You'll be fighting it forever. So we can go back to camera 1. I'm ready to roll this scroll.
All right.
Hopefully everybody's super excited about this. I am.
Oh, yeah. Dwight Gray says, I have a question. I live in a very moist area, the Pacific Northwest, or Northwet, as we say.
Okay.
How crazy is it to think of an outside workshop with open sidewalls? Will I destroy my tools because of rust?
Will he destroy what?
His tools because of rust.
Nope. Nope, you won't destroy your tools. So here's a good place. This is a great question. And this brings me into kind of a Roy rant in of itself. Rust. You see rust and you think, okay, decay. That's wrong, that's bad, this thing's rusting away. But consider the item that is rusting. If it's an anvil, it's going to take centuries for that thing to rust away. Any appreciable amount that you'll ever be able to measure or see. I mean, centuries of time, if you're lucky. Your great grandchildren might have a problem with some pitting. in something like that, okay? So as long as it's a working tool, it's going to stay roughly, you're abrasioning this. The scale is an abrasion. The hammer blows are an abrasion to the surface. You're constantly cleaning that rust just by working the tool. Same thing, tongs. Tongs, here's a pair of tongs. If this rusts, you know what I do? Get rid of them. Make another pair of tongs. They're a disposable item in the forge, right? If they're your great-great-great-granddaddies and you're really worried about it, put them in a glass case with cotton balls and everything else and make it humidity control and really just put them up on the wall, right? And keep them in a perfectly kept climate. But a working tool is meant to never last forever. This is going to rust. This is going to go away at some point. It won't be in my lifetime. It'll be found in an archaeological dig somewhere and rusted in two. But at that point, what do I care? What do my children care? You know, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandkids are going to care about that coal rake that I had made a long time ago. So you just use the tools. So I work in an open-air workshop. I'm not in the Pacific Northwest, but I am up on a peninsula in the east, northern Michigan, and it is not exactly dry up here. So, you know, and I've always been in a wet workshop one way or another. In the tools, they develop a surface layer of rust, but that surface layer of oxidization, that's it. You get the surface layer and then it quits. It just quits rusting after that point. You know, it doesn't go any deeper. Yeah, so just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it that much. If you're using your tools often, we're at camera number 2?
Yep.
If you're using your tools often enough, you will never have a problem where you'll have to be like, wow, this tool has rusted to the point that I will never be able to use it ever again. That will not happen in your lifetime. Period.
White Gray says, thanks for the answer about rust. I kind of thought the same way, but had people tell me I'm nuts.
Yeah, don't listen to those quacks. Oh. Those people who make informed decisions or opinions about stuff, or whether you should, you know, do it this way or do it that way, are people who have not got anything else better to do with their life, like work for a living. You know, I've had guys come in my shop and say, ooh, well, why would you do it that way? It's like, because that's expendable. My artwork ain't. I don't care about the tools in my shop. I care enough that they work and they function and that I make them for a purpose, but then when they have served their purpose, they go in the scrap bin or they go into another smith's hands. If they're still a good tool and I can give away a pair of tongs that I made 10 years ago, I give them to another smith. If I'm done with them, I'm done with them. I make some other pair of tongs that I need. I'm not particularly sentimental about those things. There are certain things like my hand hammer. I am sentimental about this. This has history with me, right? I will stop using it before I break it, right? That's it. When will I break it? I don't know. Hopefully not for another 30 years. But I will stop using it before it gets to a point where it would just be completely destroyed. Because it was from a time in life where I got to study under a master smith, Tom Latney. I got to learn chasing. It was my first hammer I ever made. It was my first time forge welding wrought iron with high carbon steel faces. There was a lot of firsts for it for me. So that'll eventually get hung up on a wall, and then I'll make a new hammer. Will I be partial to that? Somewhat. But if I lost it, it's a tool. It's meant to do a job. And you know, that's how I am on it. The people who are sitting around and contemplating the universe here on what people should and shouldn't do, like a big rule book, they are not productive people. They are not productive people actually making art or active in the trade. So don't give them too much credit.
Bert Lemon asked, how many tongs do you think you've made in your life so far?
Probably 40 pair, maybe. Bunch of really garbage ones, bunch of really good ones. Probably I've done at least double that many, reshaping them and adjusting them, like bought tongs from old stock from somebody, you know, a crate of tongs I bought once. I did a whole bunch of reshaping of jaws and cleanup work on them. There was 400 in that one, but that wasn't forging from scratch. But probably forging from scratch, yeah, I'm going to have to reheat that end. I thought I was close. I'll heat that end up. Yeah, but as far as forging them from scratch, probably about 40 pair. So, not a tong maker, that's for sure. I know enough how to make tongs for their purpose, but that's it. It's for their purpose.
Speargrass says, even Roy hates making tongs. Hear the
Oh, I don't hate it. It's one of those things. It causes me to have to think back on like how many tongs I have made. It's like it's a bunch.
GR Fire says, I sometimes get scale that won't brush off. How can I avoid that?
Heat less or work in an oxygen neutral environment. So what that means is you might have too much airflow going into your forge. And you may need to take and reduce the amount of airflow that's going into your forge. There we go. I'm going to take a look at this comparatively. Do, 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 do. Good. It's getting there. That's dead on it.
Wayne Hines says he made 12 pairs because Roy said make 12 of everything for practice, LOL.
And how'd that come out for you?
410 Forge says, are you partial to a square-faced forging hammer over other shapes?
Yep. I am very partial to it. So, I'm partial to the square-shaped forging hammers for several reasons. The main reason that I'm partial to it is because the squareness of that face allows me to get right into bosses, like boss work. It allows me to get really into tight corners and things of that nature. You know, some of the more sculpted hammers out there, they look pretty. You know, they're still functional, you can use them. But some of the more sculpted hammers, sometimes it's hard for you to visually reference a curvy side and make sure you're straight and square with your hammer blows. I like having the square faces. It just lines everything up a lot nicer for me. So that's kind of why I prefer them. Great question.
Britain7774 says, how long did it take you to develop your hammer precision?
Great question. Ongoing. So that's a lifelong learned thing. You know, and eventually you kind of peak out once your eyesight starts going the opposite direction and your strength and stamina starts going the opposite direction. You kind of peak out and that's it. You know, when is that? That's probably, it's different for every smith. You know, some people start smithing and they're not in the best of health conditions. So they've already peaked out in that opportunity. Doesn't mean they can't smith. It just means that they're not ever going to get to, you know, maybe the most fanciest, most cleanest forgings that they'd want. As far as developing your hammer control, it comes from practice. Many hours of just smithing hot steel. And the other thing that I could say about that is your ability to look at what you're doing and say, hey, I'm doing something wrong, right? So forging progression. Oh, I hit it here, that caused this, the cause and effect of what happens. I hit it here and it moved here. Why did it do that? Analyze it for a second. Oh, okay, that's why it's doing that. Try a couple things out, boom, you fixed it. Lock it in the memory bank and then continue moving on right down the path of learning. Doing the same thing again and again. trying and tweaking things a little bit differently each time.
Mr. Emo Muffin Man says, what are some good projects for a starting smith to work on precision?
Some of your all's names. Emo Muffin Man. Oh Lord. I love that name. I think that's the best. That's the best
Takes the cake.
screen name I think I've heard yet.
Watch your funny bone.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm just imagining like a clinically sad muffin. It's kind of slouchy on one side. It's got like black eyeliner.
The muffin.
The muffin.
Muffin's the sad
Yeah,
one.
the muffin's got a little face on it. It's painted on. Oh man, sorry. Hopefully that doesn't sound too rude. It struck me funny. The emo muffin man. Woo.
Muffin Man.
Muffin man. Muffin ma'am or muffin man?
Man. M-A-N.
M-A-N. She's telling me what now, guys. Perfect. That scroll's good. Tap it back down straight. She's all nice and straight. I gotta get a little bit of curvature where my tongs are. And that piece is forged, by golly. Now, what was the question? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got totally tripped up by that. Hopefully, they're not upset.
No, that's exactly it with a laughy cry face.
What's that?
Okay. Put a smiley face. The question was, what kind of projects can a beginner do to practice precision?
What would be a good recommendation? I would say project-wise, beating tent stakes, that can be a good one. Making hooks, S-hooks, that would probably be a staple. Make S-hooks until you can't stomach looking at another S-hook to save your life. S-hooks, 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 S-hooks. Make 10 of them every time you go light the forge. Make at least 10. Add twists to them, add whatever variations to make it interesting. S-hooks, S-hooks, S-hooks. Whatever you do, try to make 10. Try to make them all the same, all hand-eye. Don't use a jig, don't use fixtures. Make them all the same by eye. Which, if they don't look the same, chuck out the ones that you didn't make right and make more until you get them all 10 looking the same. And I would say that that's probably the biggest advice that I can give you to help you, help you with that, because it really comes down to practice, practice, practice. And the only way you can practice is if you can do something that has no consequences to it. You don't want to practice, practice, practice on really expensive material or a lot of material, something big, right? Like you want to practice, practice, practice on the small, like 1/4-inch round rod. You can buy that all day long. After elections, there's thousands of signs out there with those little wire front frames. Those make perfect practice materials to work on for a blacksmith. Yeah, practice, 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 practice.
Crafting a Life I Want says, I loved your video on change from the lighthouse. Was a great mindset for a new year.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I do videos like that from time to time when I feel like I have something to share, And again, it's my thoughts, it's just general thoughts that, I have. And there's bound to be somebody at some point that has similar thoughts to that. So I'm glad that helped you out. Oh, that's kind of where I'm going a lot these days with my ironwork, where I will be going with my ironwork. That video kind of has little special significance in one way or another, because the thought of that thumbnail, right, change is a good thing. We are clearly in a weird time Not the only time we've ever been in a weird time in our country, but we are definitely in a weird time, right? And people have all sorts of opinions around that. What my video was about, the change, was about perspective and about how you should think about your work and move on, right? Like how you should challenge yourself to do more and don't just kind of be happy or be identified by stuff that you just previously have done, right? And to make those changes, to move and to grow as a smith, right? Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to watch the comments come in on that, because some people take it a bunch of different ways. They take change, oh, well, he must be talking about the election stuff, or oh, he must be talking about this, or however, right? And that's the fun thing that I like about artwork, and some of the artwork that you guys are going to see me start doing on the channel is going to be very much a reflection of this. It has a personal significance to me, has a meaning to me, but that meaning isn't to be ever known or really to be out there, because no one needs to hear my opinion on things. But it's out there, the artwork's there as a statement to start conversations, and for it to mean something different for every person who comes up and views it. To me, I think that's what art is. That's when art is at its best, is when it's making people think, when it's making people analyze where they're at. Are they happy with the choices they've made? Do they need to make those changes in life? So expect more videos like that in the future. I do like to keep the content mainly on just forging as much as possible when I can. But occasionally I like to do a video like that. Good. This right here's got a bend in it. It doesn't need to be there.
410 Forge says, what material is on those tong jaws that you just grabbed the scroll with, Roy?
Oh, that's a copper jawed tong. It was convenient because it's kind of got a crook neck to it to be able to bite on the piece. Normally I wouldn't use that for hot work. That's used for my copper work. All right, that scroll's finished. We'll go ahead and quench her down here. Apparently we got a little bit of a nail in there or something sparkling away. Quench that off so we can handle it. All right. Questions, comments, complaints? They're all good?
Junior D says, do you have air flowing in your forge?
Air flowing?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, air is going through, so. It's not the fire pot burning up, so if you're wondering. All right, are we at the main cam?
Yep.
All right. All right, so there we have it. There's going to be some adjustments I'm going to have to make on this piece here to get it right, but you guys don't have to see that. Can they see it over here?
Mm-hmm.
Camera number 2?
Yep.
Camera number 2?
Uh-huh.
So there's a little bit of height discrepancy. This one has a little bit more roll to it than what this one does, so I need to roll this one up a little bit on this end. I need to put a little more curve right here to get it right perfect in line. But the penny scrolls are nice and even. When you look at it from this end, it's kind of how it'll tuck up underneath the sled. You see that there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And be attached. The leaf scrolls, all similar. I think all that's looking pretty good. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fruit Lemon says those are pretty slick.
Yep.
Cut Time Woodsmithing says that looks amazing. Redbeard's Forge says looks beautiful, Roy.
Well, thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, I've got, I mean, all the dimensionally speaking, they're all good. They're good that way, so it's good. Pretty good. I'm happy with them. Now, I didn't bring out a pair of ice grips, did I? Nope. I sure didn't. I was going to show off how this looks You put it on a runner. So we can go to main cam.
Okay.
This way hopefully everybody can see kind of where we're going with it here. Let me put this in here. There. There, maybe. That. What do you think? It's not one to do like I want it to do. I need something to stay. All right, it's not going to want to behave. I'll just have to hold it, or I'll go grab the vice grips. All right, so that piece is going to go like so. I made up a top piece. We'll cover this in another video, another live stream. But that's how those brackets are going to look. Can they see that okay on that?
Yep. Oh yeah, that looks really good.
Look good?
Yeah.
So that'll go about right there-ish, I think. Get it. Darn it. I wish I could just get it to balance. That way I could show it. So that'll go about right there. This obviously is going to support the seat. And that's the way that's going to look. That pretty slick or what?
That is. That's really good.
Yeah.
Bill Hermstead says very nice. Dwight Gray says, I wonder if I could make the sled a little bit bigger and have my wife's mini horse pull it.
You can, just bigger stock. Well, not necessarily bigger stock, just bigger, bigger stuff. Just make these hoops bigger, these scrolls bigger. The scroll jig that I have is fairly tight at the beginning, so it eats up a lot of material to get through that tightness. You could very easily just have a nice big loopy scroll kind of thing like that, and then a long runner. So you don't necessarily have to have a jig and roll it around that big. So it could be a very large runner like that. And then get people, get a horse to pull it. Kids on caffeine, whatever. So, so that's how that's going to look. Starting to come together. So there's going to be another one here, obviously. It'll come back here to support the sled. There'll be another one of these back like this. So it's back to back. And that's how that'll work. And I'm probably not talented enough to do both.
Yamez said he had to put down his pizza to say cool.
Is that because he's up chucking? Like, ooh, nasty. See, so it's going to look something like that. What do they think?
That looks really good.
Can they see that good on the profile?
Yep.
Yep.
Clay Stanislaw says, can't beat functional art.
Nope. This thing's going to fly down a hill, too.
Yes.
I think we'll christen it the Bone Crusher. That way when we pull it out of the vehicle, we can say, all right, kids, grab the Bone Crusher. People will be like, what? Bone Crusher?
Whoa, what's happening here?
They're coming up, like, that argument that kids do sometimes, my dad's stronger than your dad kind of thing. Blacksmiths always win that argument. Always. Like, oh yeah, my dad, he's a carpenter. Yeah, oh yeah, well my dad's a plumber. Oh, my dad's an electrician. Oh yeah, well my dad, he's a corporate CEO. You're like, oh yeah, my dad's a blacksmith. Ooh. See? They're like, oh, look at your cute little plastic sled. My dad made a Ford sled. Whoosh! Right down this way they go. It will probably be the talk of the Sled and Hill. The local Sled and Hill.
Dennis Marshall says, those are so cool. Great job. Any tips on making the scrolls symmetrical?
The best way to make scrolls symmetrical and even looking, is make a good one to begin with, turn it into a jig, and then you can constantly make them all the same. Otherwise, the best practice is you have to watch your heat. You have to have nice even heats when you're bending stuff, and you need to have heat where you want it to bend and no heat where you don't want it to bend, or a gradient of heat, if you will. So the hottest heat goes where it needs to bend, do the most turning and bending. The lighter the heat, the further out it goes from that point. And just be real gentle with it. Remember, you're forming a scroll, you're not forging a scroll. If you're forging the finial, that's one thing. But scrolls are formed, not forged. So just keep that in mind. You are bending, essentially, decoratively bending a bar into rolling it up. But yeah. All right. Hopefully that works. I've been going on. This kit's worked out pretty good. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Our first run on our new system?
Yeah, everybody said it sounded real good.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I want to say, do you have anything before I start talking?
Yeah, we're good.
One more thing?
We're good.
I'm good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was thinking about this the other day, the other evening. I'll share you a little backstory. We were looking at some of our numbers, kind of like where our channel once was and the numbers there. Way back when we got started, about 4 years ago now, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 4 years ago, we started doing this whole YouTube thing, and then to where we are now. And it was quite humbling for me and very, just made me speechless in a way of just thinking about how many people have seen the content that we've produced, how many people are still watching it today, and how many people still comment on all the videos of stuff that I did 3 years ago and said, hey, this really helped me, or I found this helpful. And that sort of stuff it kind of gave me a bit of a renewed spirit for this year with the content that I'm doing on YouTube. A lot of times I get caught up with trying to make something that I think everybody would want to watch, right? It's very stressful because it's like, I want to make this. I think this is cool and I want to share this type project. I want to share stuff like this. Not just because it'll make a great thumbnail or a good YouTube video, but because this is what I do. This is what I love to do. This is me. I want to share that part. And always feel guilty about doing that, so it's just kind of like, this is what I want to do. This is what'll get views on YouTube type deal. Because there's that balance there. And this year, to hell with YouTube. Love YouTube as a platform, but to heck with algorithms, things like that going forward. Because what I care about is the people. End of the day, sum it up, I care about the people that I'm helping. That's it. That's why I want to put on that is why honest to God, I want to put on the best show I can on Friday nights, doing live streams. It's why I want to reinvest and constantly into better camera equipment and better lighting. I plan on getting some new shop lights in, hopefully before the next live stream. Would be great. I don't know. We'll see how all that pans out, if I can get it wired in time with all my other work. But I really do care about you all out there. I really do. And I want to put out the best work I can and share the things that aren't talked about. I don't care if they're popular or not. I want to share the stuff that has meaning and has longer term impact on people's lives. Because we look back, I looked at a video on this chart, and just kind of give you a little, backdrop on it. When I posted the video, it had like 500 views in an entire month. It took a month for it to get 500 views, right? And it shocked me, quite startling, that video 3 years later now has 100,000 views on it. It just totally befuddled me. I was like, oh my gosh, like what? When did this blow up? When did this take off? When was this viral, right? And it's not, because I thought that my work was wasted and my efforts was wasted at that time because I didn't get all the views that these big channels were getting, right? I wasn't getting all the sensationalism. I'm not getting all these attaboys from people, right? And I'm speaking to you out there, fellow creators, starting your own YouTube channels, having, blacksmithing channels, and you're on the come up and things like that. And I'm not speaking from a position like I'm way up on a hill here. I'm still in the fray too. Stop caring about all that garbage, because what you're doing has impact and it has value. It may not have the upfront gratification of value, but it has long-term value. And yeah, it just does. And so I just, yeah, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks that, yeah, I just don't care whether my videos are going to be popular. I don't care if I'm going to have 1 million subs someday or not. All I care about is that you all are finding it valuable and that it's helping you all in your smithing journey. I would like you to be able to say proudly that I learned something from Christ-Centered Ironworks, and to be able to say that, you know, with pride, you know, that you got to learn something and that it's made you a better smith because of it, or it's helped you out through a tough time or whatever. Like, I hope that you can do that someday. And so I'm never going to be able to do that. I'm never going to be able to catch up with every single person that's ever subscribed to us and shake your hands and face to face and meet your family and break bread and have a good time. It's just not possible. There's 66,000 people. There's one of me. There's one of Jess, right? Mm-hmm. You know, there's one Jess, I think.
66,000 ratio. Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, there's just one of me.
Yeah, there's just one of you. Just making sure that she didn't have an evil twin somewhere stuck out there. But yeah, so that may not be possible. But I do know that I won't ever reach people and change their lives and help further them in their blacksmithing journeys if I don't put my best out there. And I mean my best. That will look differently to a lot of people. Some people don't like the little inspirational vlogs, but it's helped a lot of you, you know, and that's what brings us up. And so I'm going to do exactly the same going forward all throughout 2021. You know, I'm not just going to be an inspirational guru, you know, walking around and just giving you helpful little tips and never showing you forging. That's not me. I've got work to do. I've got orders and, you know, forgings to make. And so I'm going to always be doing that. But my emphasis and my commitment is to you all out there, the viewers. And I'm going to double down on that this year and try to put my best foot forward. That means there won't always be a video out, just by the way of it. Because if it's just not ready, I'm just not going to release it half-cocked. I'm just not going to do that. I've done that in the past where I wanted to add extra information, or maybe I flubbed a word and I should have went back and reshot a section of a video. That's the stuff that I want to get better at in 2021. That's my goal. So hold me accountable to it. Hold me accountable to it. But yeah, that's what I do. So.
Gary Brown says that is what is great about the blacksmith community. All are so helpful and nice.
Yep, it is. It is. So, you know, there's a few bad apples out there, obviously, like in anything. There's always a few stinkers, but for the most part, you know, I'd say 99.99% at least are very helpful and are ready to encourage you and get together. So yeah, so I hope that intention is met well with y'all. I hope you guys see that intention and with everything we're doing with the streams and stuff. And, you know, I hope that that'll be worth your time to come back and subscribe. If you're new and you just watch this stream for the first time, again, we greatly appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who donated, contributed, memberships, everybody who become a channel member and supporting the content that we're doing and all this mission and this goal. Super, super appreciative of that. And thank you for everybody who took time out of your evenings to watch this stream. Jessica and I both greatly appreciate it, haven't we, hon?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
So,
very much so.
Yep. Anything else before we go? No? We good?
Just hope everybody has a really good weekend, and you'll have to come back and read some of the comments after the stream's over for this bit here.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy them.
I will. Yep. They'll be like, get out of here, Roy. Take him off the stage.
No, they just inspired. They're very inspired by you and enjoy all of your work and your effort that you put into the channel.
Good. Well, that's what means the most to me. So I hope to just continue to do this and keep doing it while my boots are above ground. So that's it. All right. Well, God bless each and every last one of you. Thank you for being in the shop this evening, taking time out of your day to take and watch this stream, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye now.